the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. And today, folks, he's going to be somebody else's eye candy coming up here. Dale Hellestray, everybody.
Good morning, Stephen. Have you learned your lesson about crowing about, how smart you are?
I blame you.
I blame me.
I blame you.
Yeah?
What'd I do?
I don't know. All week you've been touting your electric car. And
Well,
you have to pay gas prices.
Yeah. Here's the difference.
How smart you are.
Yeah, I'm not paying $4.99 a gallon.
You're just above, looking down at everybody, down your nose. My electric car.
I drive around honking my horn.
Yeah, look at me.
I drive by gas stations and just honk.
Look at me.
Wave.
Except for when somebody goes to sleep.
Today, you're going to find me at a charging station on my way home. So you guys can honk at me as you drive by as I buy expensive electricity in the middle of the day.
Yeah, you got to buy it at the most expensive time, right?
Yeah, but I don't need to sit there for the full 30 minutes or whatever it is. I don't need to go back to 80. But I need to get it back up to like 40 or 50. Yeah, I messed up last night. I didn't plug it in. Didn't even think about it. 40% when I got in it this morning.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm all right. So I have enough to get back home. I'm at 30%. I got plenty to get back home.
Right.
It's just I have a couple of things to do tonight. I'm going to be driving back to Chandler and stuff. That's going to be tough.
And so
I might as well just stop and just put 10, 15% in it again. Just get me back up. Get me back up to, that 40, 50% range so I don't have to worry about it. I don't want to be stopping in the rush hour of the day because you never know what's going to be available. So I'm just going to plan ahead. Plus, Dale, as I told you, I should just drive home. If it was a normal Thursday, I could just drive home and plug it in for like 3-4 hours before I go out.
Right.
Tonight. But why can't I do that today, Dale?
Because you decided not to hang around yesterday?
I couldn't yesterday. I had an orthodontist appointment.
Oh.
No. I was bumped because John Humber called and said, Dale, you can't golf on Wednesday. I need you. Dale's like, okay. So I got bumped for that.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
it's your studio. Don't you tell him what to do?
Around. No, I'm too nice of a guy for that.
So esteemed alumni.
You were there when this happened. It was John and Dale are deciding. They'll let you know. I had no say in it whatsoever. It was just, this is what's happening.
So as far as esteemed alumni, does it go Toby Wright, John Holmberg, Steve McCollum from Dawson High School, or where do you fall in there?
No, I'm sure Angel and Mark from Burrito Express probably falling above me even.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, Mrs. Ertz, I forgot her maiden name. I'm drawing a blank on her maiden
Zach
name.
Ertz's wife?
Zach Ertz's wife. I hate to refer to her as that. Yeah. But she's a Dobson alum.
Mrs. Ertz.
Yeah, Mrs. Ertz.
Yeah.
She's a Dobson alum.
Okay.
The women's soccer, some World Cup championships under her belt.
Right.
She's probably above me too.
Did anybody do anything like tech-wise or actor-wise?
I'm sure they did.
Or did they transfer out of Dobson if they were that talented?
I'm sure they did. I don't know. I don't follow it that closely. I don't get a newsletter on updates. I check the newsletter every day going, am I on it now? No.
Keep sending emails from different addresses. Hey, what about Steve McCollum?
Exactly. You guys should do an update. What happened to that McCollum kid? Then they do my brother. They do an update on my brother.
Ooh.
And his exploits. And they're like, he had a brother? That's the problem, Dale. That's the problem.
Well, it's an exciting day today, Steve.
It is.
Opening day.
Nope. Opening days for individual ballparks are today. But welcome to home opener day for all that celebrates. All around Major League Baseball starting 10:15 a.m. our time. Was it 4-day games and a lot of early afternoon games. And then, of course, Diamondbacks. Dodgers tonight at 5:30. Yamamoto Gallen tonight. How bad are the Diamondbacks losing tonight, Dale?
Well, what do they start off? 3 with the Dodgers, 2 with the Tigers?
I think it's 3 with the Tigers.
Is it?
I have it right here, as a matter of
Do
fact.
they start off 0-6, Steve?
I'd hope not. They can be Verlander, can't they? Coming up
How
here.
old's Verlander? 51?
41, 42. Yeah, he's in his 40s. Yeah, just hanging on. Yeah, I mean, he's got that supermodel wife, man. Does he not like her or something? Doesn't want to hang out with her? But yeah, 3 against the Tigers starting Monday. So we talked about this. They have Sunday off of all things. Why not give them a Friday? What are you doing with your schedule, Major League Baseball? What's wrong with you? But yeah, they have Sunday off. Like, I just think it'd be great. Get up Sunday, watch some 1:00 Diamondbacks baseball, and that. Nope, not this Sunday. Au contraire.
Well, I wonder, because I heard this a couple years ago, that over the opening weekend they leave an open day just in case there's weather, is what I was told at one point.
Well, that's usually why. But you don't usually get Sunday off. Like there was a couple years ago, if you played Thursday, you had Friday off. Saturday, Sunday, and then if you had Thursday off, then you played Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they break that in there. But a Sunday off? That's weird. Play every Saturday and Sunday, folks. The weekend. Maybe in LA, they're like, we don't. There's not enough traffic to drive across town on a Sunday, so we don't want to have a game. Robert, we had a game last night. Well, we had people go out on a field last night. That was a snoozer of a game. Yes, Logan Webb, welcome to your Major League Baseball season. But 7-0, I think, was the final there. Netflix, Dale, did you watch this all? Did you figure out how to work Netflix last night?
Oh, I know how to work Netflix, but I did not go there for that.
Robert does say it is opening day today. If Aaron Judge doesn't think it's opening day, then I do not either. He had 4 strikeouts. First Yankees, I think, in the history of the Yankees to go 0 for 4 in the first game of the year.
Wow.
4 strikeouts on top.
I wonder if he'll ever get a hit this year.
And I'd like to apologize to Aaron Judge up front here. It's going to be my fault. He's going to struggle this year.
Uh-oh.
I placed a small bet, $5. That's small bet. On Aaron Judge hitting 50 home runs again this year. Because he's done it like 4 years. He's going to be the first one to do it in 5 years if he does it this year. And I said, you know what? Aaron Judge is going to hit 50 home runs. And last night I'm watching him just whiff. Strike out. So I'd like to apologize to Aaron Judge for ruining your multi-year 50 home run streak.
It's almost like everything you touch, Steve.
It feels like it sometimes. I emailed Judge this morning and was like, man, I apologize. I apologize for doing this to you.
Did he respond and say, hey?
Oh, yeah, he gave me 2 middle fingers. To be honest, that's usually how Judge responds to me. Stop emailing me. How do you keep getting my email address? Standard playfulness between me and Mr. Judge. So home openers today around Major League Baseball. It's going to be an exciting day, Dale. I'm looking forward to it.
It should be a fun day. You got golf starting. You got
but it's a lower end golf tournament.
Still golf, Steve.
Yeah.
Still golf. I know that you're just a big snob. Your cars with your golf.
You don't waste me with these low end tournaments nobody cares about.
Like bring Augusta on for
This is the road to Augusta is happening right now. We're less than a month away. Coming up on that. So, no, it's important for those reasons. You want to see who's playing well going into Augusta, who's not. You got to pay attention to that stuff. So you do want to pay attention to it this weekend. Aren't they in South Carolina, the PGA Tour?
No, it's in Houston.
Oh, Houston. I was close enough. Don't you take a left?
Oh,
just right outside. You just leave South Carolina and take a left, and you're in Houston.
That's my guy, Steve McCullum. Whatever.
Which is even weirder that I say that because I was reading an article on it last night, and it's called the Houston Open, isn't it?
Yes,
It just dawned on me that it's called the Houston Open. I said it was in South Carolina.
Yeah. Is it in Hilton Head?
The Valspar last week was in Copperhead.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
Well, that was last week.
Yeah.
No, so you're still not in South
No,
Carolina.
it's not South Carolina either. I was wondering if you catch that or not. But that is Florida.
Hey, in a few weeks, RBC Heritage is played in South Carolina.
Yeah,
So
'cause they go through their Texas stretch right here, right? Valspar Houston Open this weekend, Valero next weekend,
in San Antonio.
and then the Masters.
Yep. And then after the Masters, all the families go to
Yeah.
South Carolina,
that,
Harbor Town.
Vacation time. Let's relax after the Masters run here as well. So there we go. That's your roundabout. Arizona plays tonight as well. ASU Pro Day is tomorrow, Dale.
Is your boy gonna run?
I have an update for you. I made some calls.
Yeah.
I really did. I know I made some texts.
Okay.
But then on top of it, Field Yates yesterday on Twitter put up a pre-draft update, which rivals what I was told from some people. He is going to work out. But very little working out. Then on April 17th, he's going to work out for an NFL teams on April 17th doing positional work only. Now, this is from Field Yates, this part. So this tomorrow, very little on Pro Day. But he is going to work out, according to Field Yates, for NFL teams on April 17th doing positional work only.
So we're still not talking of running a 40.
His hamstring is still a problem.
Hmm.
I'm not going to say he's still injured. What I will say is they're worried about a re-injury, probably. More so than it's still injured. That's what I would say.
And we're now going to be in April.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow, for the pro day tomorrow is the 27th. But he's going to go an extra 2 weeks. But only a positional work only, which means I'll run some small routes for you. I'll run underneath the middle and stop type of stuff. Obviously he had that big hamstring injury. Did not participate at the combine and everything. But blowing off the pro day for April 17th workout for NFL teams.
Do you happen to remember when his last game was? He didn't play against U of A, did he?
No. Wait, did he? You remember he came back in one of those games. It might have been the U of A game, but he went out again late in the season. He came back and got hurt. I remember it well because he caught a ball and got tackled, and I was looking down at him from my seats, and you saw his face go, ah. And I was like, he's hurt. He just hurt himself again. Sure enough, he gets up, is all limping.
So that game would have been around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, let's say I don't remember exactly. I want to say it was the U of A game he came back for. But it was around there.
So say December 1st.
Yeah.
So all December.
Now, how long do hamstrings take to heal?
January, February, and now we're gonna be at the end of March.
Yeah, and they're not saying he's not working out because of his hamstring, but what other reason would it be?
Yeah. Unless he hasn't been able to condition or prepare for a 40.
Well, that's the other side. That's the other side of it. It might be they're not letting him open up to full speed and full workout, so he might not be in shape to run for the pro day.
And these guys, unlike us back in the day, these guys they train for 40s. Yeah. They have techniques and they're.
Everybody at the combine worked for at least a month and a half to get ready to run that 40.
Hydro uniforms.
Yeah.
And
they literally train to run that 40. That's why you get those speeds. And then they stop training for it after that, right? Isn't that an interesting update? I'm concerned about. Oh, I would say concerned. He's not. I'll tell you, people still have him in the top 10. Some people do. But as a team, aren't you concerned? Now, April 17th is going to mean a lot. He goes out there and looks good. But even then, he's only doing positional work only. So that means no 40 run, no weights. And they did weight stuff at the combine and lifted a lot of weight. So we know his arms are good. But I don't know. That's concerning in my eyes. That's concerning in my eyes.
There is a lot again when you're a young man and an injury like this lasts this long. You wonder, have there been setbacks along the way?
That's what you had, because he had setbacks on this hamstring during the season.
Yeah. Is this going to be a career thing to where they have to manage the hamstring and things like that? I can't see a team taking him in the top 10.
To me, well, the teams have the medicals and stuff, like I said, but whether there's setbacks, whether there's anything from that perspective, re-injury, or they just don't want him to re-injure it type of a situation, that's one thing. Not being able to prepare for it's a whole nother thing. Because during the season, what are you going to do? Oh, you're not going to practice all week as a rookie? For timing reasons with your quarterback? There's a lot of concerns.
Yeah.
And I think he's one of the most talented guys out there. But the question is, can he stay healthy? And so when the teams are looking at the medical, let's say his hamstring's healed, maybe they're just telling him, hey, we just don't want him to open it up.
Or maybe the medicals are looking at it and saying it's not fully healed yet.
That's worrisome. Just look, like you said, we're coming into April. If you're not able to run full speed with regularity after this time frame, that is alarming.
It is. It's funny when I was saying that, these guys, 2 weeks after their season, they start training for the combine. As a lineman, all the drills that you do, the cone drills, the box drills, the dummy drills, you start working on that 2 weeks after your season's over.
Yeah.
We're drinking beer the night before and out there in gray shorts running on.
They hire coaches, combine coaches and people to go to do stuff. Yeah. And it's an amazing thing. So I'll say this. I get it. In NFL teams want guys to run 40s. I don't personally care what guys run 40s because you don't run an unimpeded 40 in the NFL very often.
No.
Unless you get behind, as a receiver, you get behind somebody and you don't want to get caught from behind. Let's put it that way. But those are rare instances. How many times on a weekend do you see a guy get behind a defense and break open a 60-yard run or something like that? It doesn't happen as often as you think it does. So generally, I don't care about the 40 in terms of that. But not even being able to run it or refusing to run it, I don't know. That wakes you up a little bit, doesn't it? But yeah, so that's the update on Jordan Tyson that got yesterday, and then Field Yates putting that out. He will have a workout on April 17th, but only positional work, which means he's going to go run routes.
And what kind of routes?
Let's think, is there any deep routes? And not only that, Dale, but you know as well as I do, there's ways to run routes not at full speed.
I don't know. It'll be fascinating.
You won't be cutting. You don't have to cut as much. You can do a curl pattern, but that cut, you can round that off a little bit to make it not as rough on you and stuff like that. Or the defensive guy can kind of mask that a little bit. So anyway, Jordan Tyson update for you guys out there. Alarming. This is the April 17th workout, though, is going to be the most important workout on. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. See, if you go to the combine and you struggle a little bit, you have a chance to make up for it.
Yeah, a couple more opportunities if you want.
April 17th workout, I got news for you. You don't have time to make up for it if you have a bad outing. And teams don't like it. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, especially when you could be a top 10 pick, top 15 pick.
Right.
You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself in that scenario. Here's the other side of it. This is like a prevent defense, I think, is what's happening. Hey, we don't want you to go out there because you can fall big right now. If because they know what he can do. You could fall big. We know you can't do this. We know you can't do that. And you could fall. So we're not going to do anything And you might fall a little bit, but you always have that potential. You haven't shown them you can't do it yet. This might be a prevent defense situation of we're just going to hide it until we can't hide it anymore and hope for go as long as possible and then let it go.
But are you telling me if you got a top 10 pick, you're not see this guy since limping off the field, whether that's U of A or
last year with the
whenever it
shoulder
was,
injury on top of it? I mean, 2 years in a row. Absolute talent. I love him to death. I think if he's healthy, he's going to be one of the better receivers in the NFL, for a decent amount of time. But this is seriously concerning, and I'm not even an NFL draft guy. I was trying to make it sound like I was worried. It made it more sound like I was crying.
Well, how frustrated are you if you're him and all that? You're thinking, I've taken time off, I've healed, I've done everything I'm supposed to do, and yet it's not yet right.
Yeah, but has he taken enough time off? We saw that during the season. He kept wanting to come back, and then he re-injured himself. Could it be he's working out? He's like, I feel good, let's go. Ramps it up. Little twinge again because he didn't take it easy when he should have. He wanted to push it a little bit farther.
Well, we saw with Jalen Green at the Suns, up close and personal. I mean, sit him out a long time, and then, okay, let's bring him back, and he comes back for one game, and then he's out for some more. And
but that was a mental thing. They did all, and they're like, dude, you're fine. They had to convince him he was fine. Out there. It could be a mental thing with Jordan, which in an NFL circle, that kind of scares you a little bit too.
Yeah.
Because you can't be in your own head on a football field. I'm assuming. I haven't been on an NFL field, but guys that are in their own heads generally struggle on a football field.
Yeah, they're usually not on the football field.
That's a better way of putting it.
Well, and then the other thing is I always crack up because I don't know if I said it on this show or I'm not doing some different shows now, but the fact that, excuse me.
This is the main one, though.
Excuse me, my main interest. But, like Daryl Johnson used to say in training camp.
You said it. You said that here.
Okay. The only day you feel good is walking out to your first practice. If you can't figure out a way to play not 100%, you can't play in the next football.
I mean, these are the questions that he's inviting.
Yes.
Is he afraid he's going to redo it? He's perfectly healthy, but he's afraid to open it up because he might tear it again or something to that effect. That's what you're opening up here with NFL teams. Now, NFL teams can talk to you and talk to your agents and get a feel of it. They see the medicals obviously and stuff like that because he had to get a medical check at the combine.
Oh yeah.
But these are opening up these questions. But so there's your update on Jordan Tyson for tomorrow.
It'll be interesting to see how it's taken.
April 17th could change it, but we could see a kid slide. Now, you could see a team like the Chiefs taking him, even though with that history, because the Chiefs some teams can take stabs at guys and hope they work out.
Right.
Other teams cannot. Right? Like the Cardinals can't take Jordan Tyson and go, oh, we hope he's healthy. And, they can't afford to do that. Chiefs, I'd say Lions. I'm just trying to go through the top of my head right now. 49ers, they could take a chance on a Jordan Tyson, and if he's just hurt and injured, all right, whatever. No, you're not going to take that chance in top 10.
No.
But, you could fall on teams that are like, we need a receiver that we know is going to be out there with no question marks. So you could see a fall happening here coming up is what I'm getting at.
Well, then, and one of those things you're probably deathly afraid of, not being a first-round draft pick myself, but all of a sudden you get on that escalator going down, and all of a sudden it's 10, 11, 12.
And you're sitting in the audience.
14, 18, 20.
You're out grocery shopping when you get the call.
It's like crazy.
You get home and check your voicemail. It's like, hey, it's the Bills calling to see if you want to be drafted. Call us back. Like, sorry, I was just getting some dogs at the grocery store.
Let me tell you this. I would not be at Draft Central. Where's it at? Green Bay this year or Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh this year.
Yeah, I probably turned down that invite.
Right. What do they invite? The top 10, right? Or potential top 10?
I think it's even more than that sometimes.
Is it?
But I'm not sure what the
No,
exact.
if I'm not a
number is.
bona fide top 5 guy, you ain't see me anywhere.
No.
And even then, you might not see me near the place. I don't need to walk up on a stage. You can have cameras in my house that I could turn off if I start falling.
Steve, if you're a top 5 pick, you would be there soaking up the energy and
I would.
stealing the limelight.
I'd be like, what am I sitting so far back for? You get out of that seat. I'd show my worth right off the bat.
This is for all you naysayers that said Steve McCullough was nothing. Coach Clark.
Yeah, exactly. Coach Fultz, I'd step on as much grass as I want to now.
Name that grass Steve McCullough patch.
Don't forget also, speaking of draft show coming up on Thursday night, round 1 of the draft. We're going to have some details. I just like how, so I was talking to somebody yesterday about joining us. We'll have some guests there, and all of a sudden, all these, now we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do that. It's just, you got to be careful who you invite to these things. That's all I'm going to say. But in all seriousness, draft show coming up as well. Me and Bruce Cooper. Dale might come. It all depends if a special guest shows up or not.
Wow.
Then Dale will join us.
Wow.
We all know Dale doesn't do anything unless.
Well, I thought you were going to fly me to Pittsburgh.
Oh, you want to do that? You can be up on stage and interview him and then walk out? I can arrange that.
No, you can't.
Yeah. No, I can arrange it in my mind.
Yeah.
We'll AI you in there. And you'll pretend. You'll be in front of whoever's interviewing him. It'll be your body on there, even though you're not there.
That's a stupid question,
I can
Dale.
arrange that, Dale. I mean, that's ESPN. What are they gonna do? Sue me? I'm not afraid of ESPN. Diamondbacks stuff of the day, but Dale, I wanted to play you this specific clip here today. Utah State's head coach Jared Calhoun just left Utah State after their run in the Mountain West, and he got hired by Cincinnati. And you see a lot of mid-major coaches leave as soon as humanly possible to move up to the bigger divisions. He spells this out unbelievably real with NIL right now, the way the game has changed, and why you have to, as a coach, strike while the iron's hot.
Oh.
Arizona fans, I hate to tell you this, pay attention regardless of what Tommy Lloyd said yesterday about how I'm focused on this Arizona team or whatever. These guys are not going to pass up opportunities for certain opportunities out there for the reason Jared Calhoun's about to talk about right now. Here's Jared Calhoun yesterday with the Cincinnati intro.
So Utah State is a top 30 job in America. It truly is. It's a place that has an incredible student body, 3,800 students every night. The players that are there will have to decide that. But I can tell you this, when we got the 9 seed, after winning 28 games in a regular season title and a tournament title, that was pretty telling. And I think the game has changed. I think college basketball has changed forever. We don't have one team outside of Iowa, which is a 9 seed, and they're a Big Ten school, right, in the Sweet 16. So I think kids will die to play at the University of Cincinnati. This is an incredible town with an incredible fan base, and I think we'll be able to attract some of the best players in the country, whether that's through the portal, high school, retaining our current guys. We have to look at everything.
He flat out says it, Dale.
Yep.
Can't compete unless you're at a big school.
Well, and the other thing is, to me, if Randy Bennett didn't have Valley ties, I think his decision would have been more difficult.
But but it's telling that now's the time he left. Yes,
right.
You're right. You have Valley ties.
Yes.
He's been courted by other places. I'm sure he would have liked to have gone.
But here's what that guy's also saying. Utah State had an unbelievable year.
28 wins.
Unbelievable year. And guess what? He sees striking while iron's hot, because guess what? He might only win 20 games next year.
Yeah, it could
and
go
guess what? He's not
backwards
getting
quickly.
offered any of the big jobs. Yeah. So you got to jump at it. Now, maybe Cincinnati might not be his number one job, but he's sure going to sell it like it is.
Well, absolutely. But what did he do? Yeah. He's in the hardest conference in basketball.
Yeah.
Same thing with Randy Bennett. Yes, he's got Valley ties to make it a little easier, stuff like that. But there's a reason Randy Bennett this year was like, I'm willing to leave St. Mary's. There's a reason why Sienna's head coach was like, I'm going to go back and coach my alma mater at Syracuse. This is my opportunity to do it because you have to strike. And you can only go – if he went back to Utah State next year and won 30 games, guess what? He's still an 8 or 9 seed.
Right.
He's not going to be a 3 or 4 seed and quite frankly have a chance to go through this tournament.
That's
what we're
what are the
right
chances he goes through another almost 30-win season?
And then he goes to Cincinnati, wins 28 games. He's going to be higher ranked than 8 or 9 just because he's in the Big 12.
Well, he could win 21 games and be higher
That's the
ranked.
argument, right? And he just flat out told you right now the problem with college basketball. And then this tournament showing you as well. He said it right there. The lowest seed right now is a 9 seed out of the Big 10. Nobody else, a small school, isn't isn't moving to this far. They're not going to be ranked higher than an 8 or 9 seed going forward. It was amazing the truthfulness that he had there on why you see. So the goal, if you're a basketball coach right now in college, go to St. Mary's for 2, 3, 4 years, 2 years, hopefully. Win, get to the tournament, move on to another conference, move on to someplace else bigger instantly at that point. It's your only chance you got if you want to continue in this. It's a terrible way to do business, but that's the reality of it. He just flat out told us the truth right there.
Yes, he did.
Diamondbacks Dodgers tonight, Dale. I'm going to have I started a graphic last night. It took me a little bit longer. I didn't finish it, but I'm going to have my division winners and everything. I'm going to post them out on X later on today or tonight. It won't affect any. I'm not changing anything because of game 1 wins. If a couple games are over by the time I get it up there.
Well, you've already said that what Aaron Judge is not going to hit 50 home runs off the first game.
Robert last night was giving me a hard time because I was like, record number of strikeouts Aaron Judge is on base for. He's like, do the math. And I'm like, I don't do the math. What's 0-4 times 161? That's what his record pace is.
4 strikeouts.
4 strikeouts, yeah, times 161, yeah. It's an amazing number. But Diamondbacks, what I want to ask you, Dale, for a prediction, Diamondbacks make the playoffs or not?
I think they're in that, third spot, maybe fiddling around with San Diego for the second spot in the West, and I think that they're going to be on the fringe again.
So how many wins? Over under Vegas right now, at least on FanDuel, 79.5 right now. Yeah. I got them at 78. I did do the over. I'll tell you this, I went over on Diamondbacks.
See, I would take the over, too. I think that they're going to be in that 85.
They won 89 2 years ago, 80 last year.
Yeah, I think 85, give or take 1 or 2 either way. And if it's 2 to the plus side, they'll be right there in the playoff hunt.
Really? All right. Do they make the playoffs?
I'll let you know
in September?
Yeah.
So I'm going to do my but here's my synopsis. I have them at 82 wins this year, the Diamondbacks. Basically 500.
Right.
Because I think they're going to do it now. At the beginning of the season, they might have a terrible record. But they're going to be in the hunt till they start getting guys back. And then, whether it's going to give them some relief or whatever. This team has a ton of talent, Dale. If not the best second baseman, upper second baseman when he's not sore and can play. Really good shortstop. Older guys at first and third, but defensive. They will not make errors on the defensive side. Maybe you can get something from Arenado's bat, but you're not going to get one from Carlos Santana's bat, so that's a wash. So I'm worried about hitting, but the way the Diamondbacks are going to win and stay competitive, the biggest unknown is the bullpen. They're gonna make the playoffs or push for a playoff run because of the bullpen, or they're gonna be out of the playoff run because of the bullpen. That's how the season's gonna go. I got them at 82 wins though. They have so much talent on this team. There's no more excuses. They can't go through the injury bug like they did last year. If they do, you need to blow everybody out because there's something internally.
And history usually says you do not do injury bugs 2 years in a row.
Yep. So I think that's going to help them out and everything going forward. So we got our first challenge last night. I'll show you guys that when we come back. I'll talk college basketball, more Diamondbacks season as well. Dale takes off here and goes to his best buddy's place. And then, of course, Uncle Lou joins me at 9 o'clock today as well. So come on back, folks, the main event.
That's why Steve's so happy.
Yeah, last night we got, of course, opening day in Major League Baseball. We'll talk about that here before we get to Luke coming up. But at first, I wanted to, obviously, Sweet 16 starts today as well here this afternoon. Arizona plays tonight against Arkansas. And Arkansas right now is, at least as of last night when I looked, I did not look this morning. Excuse me, I'll have the hiccups. But Arizona is 7.5-point favorites as of last night going to this game against Arkansas. John Calipari is the head coach of Arkansas. Arizona has more talent than Arkansas does. Period. End of story. You can't dispute that at all. Arizona should win this ball game tonight. And quite frankly, they should. It might be close for a while, but they should pull away a little bit as the game goes on, especially late in the second half. They should pull away and win. But don't you have to, at least a little bit, think about Coach John Calipari? The guy does magic out there. He's one of the best coaches of all time in college basketball. And now he's down there at Arkansas. He can design some things, get some kids to do some things. Arkansas has the best player left in this tournament on their squad as well. Can Arizona shut him down tonight as well to keep this game from going into last second type stuff, right, to get the win? Here's the other side of it. John Calipari, if you look all this up, John Calipari's 11-0-1 against the spread as an underdog. Doesn't mean he wins. That's against the spread. 7.5 points tonight worries me if you're looking at just the spread numbers. 11-0-1 against the spread as an underdog in the NCAA tournament and conference tournament games. And they're 7.5-point dogs against Arizona tonight as well. I think this is going to be a closer, more hard-fought game for Arizona than you think it is. Like I said, Arizona toward the end of the second half might pull it out a little bit and make it look like it was kind of a blowout or a bigger win than it should be. I think you're going to see a close game here through 3/4 of this game tonight at a minimum. The longer you keep Arkansas in it with this best player out there and all the land left, yeah, he might not be the best left. You got Boozer still and a couple other guys. Really, really good. And he can steal a game from you. This is going to be a tougher game than you think it's going to be, I think, tonight against Arkansas for Arizona. I think Arizona wins. I think they advance. It's going to be hard fought. Here's the thing that's giving me a little bit more excitement about this Arizona game tonight. That game against Utah State, it did not go Arizona's way a lot. They struggled at times on shooting. They struggled at times on the defensive side as well, right? And they pulled it out at the end. It's going to be that type of game against Arkansas tonight. But in the back of my mind, I sit here and go, what's John Calipari with, 4 or 5 days to get ready for this game? What's he going to pull out tonight for his offensive side to where they're going to score? What's he going to do defensively to bottle up Arizona to make them? How do you stop Bradley? How do you stop the other superstars there on the Arizona side? John Calipari is a guy that can draw that up, and he's got the talent on that squad to draw it up as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Incidentally enough, ESPN did an article, I believe it was yesterday, might have been the day before. They ranked basically they ranked the Sweet 6 teams left out there. They have Arizona as number one, and I agree with that 100%. Arizona is the best team left in this tournament, in my opinion. End of story. They have Michigan Wolverines too. I agree with that. Michigan's going to get knocked off this weekend. I'm telling you guys. It's coming. Duke, they're going to get knocked off this weekend, whether it be Michigan State or UConn. Duke's going to get knocked off this weekend. I believe so, going into this as well, this weekend. Houston, they're playing at home. Now they play Iowa, Nebraska. I'm forgetting there's another corn state too that they're playing, and I'm forgetting who's in that right now. Who's in that? Illinois. They have Illinois coming up as well. Houston does. They're at home. I like Houston this weekend to come out and also kind of get to that side of things. But the question you got is going to this game tonight with Arizona, and that is John Calipari. Arkansas side of thing. Now, on this ESPN thing, ranking them, of course, Arizona was one, etc. Arkansas Razorbacks, they have as an 11, the 11th best team here in the Sweet 16 remaining. The Darius Acuff here as well. That's a star freshman, Darius Acuff Jr. He's the stud here in this tournament, right? He got him a past high point in that game coming up here as well. Then you got Rob Martin on this Arkansas team, 30 points on him as well on Saturday's game as well. Acuff is the guy that you have to worry about for this Arkansas Razorback team. Does Arizona what do they scheme up to stop? Can they stop him? Or is it just one of those you can't stop him, you just hope to contain him type of stuff going into the game as well? He's the best player remaining in the field. If he's not the best, he's top 2 or 3 left in this tournament against Arizona tonight. He can do some damage. This is going to be a fun game tonight. I do think, like I said, after I said all that, I'm going to have some Arizona fan go, "You just hate Arizona. You're looking for ways." No. I'm not going to lie to you. I could care less if Arizona moves on or not. They should. I'm not going to lose any sleep if they lose. I'm not going to lose any sleep if they win. They should. They should go and win a championship year. They're the best overall team remaining in this field. Could be a harder matchup than you think it's going to be tonight. Could be a fun matchup tonight as well to watch as well. I'm just not going to sleep on John Calipari and what he can put together with 4 or 5 days leading up to a game. Here's the other side of it. It's no coincidence that rumors, we'll call them with hyphens, came out yesterday of Tommy Lloyd not getting along with his athletic director. That came out in the morning. What job opened up? North Carolina. North Carolina, I don't even think is the number one job available if Bill Self retires. He came out later and said he's not retiring. He hasn't decided yet. Kansas will be the more job that more guys will want, I think, than North Carolina. North Carolina has a bunch of other things happening over there. Stadium issues, battles between alumni and all of this stuff and everything. But Kansas, that's a job everybody's going to want. How much of a distraction, regardless of what Tommy Lloyd said yesterday, you're being asked about it. Folks, whether you like it or not, his agent's asking him about it. How do you want to handle this? My agent's job is to field the phone calls, do the negotiations and stuff like that. How much is that affecting him going into that as well there for Tommy Lloyd? Is there a side distraction here coming up? I don't think there would be. You don't know how people react to that stuff, right, when they're looking at it. Tonight is going to be a close game. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun one as well for Arizona. What time? I believe that's, what is it, 6:45? Or is it, 6:45 tonight on CBS here for Arizona, Arkansas. I couldn't remember if it was 5:45 or 6:45. 6:45 tonight for this Arizona game. You're going to want to tune in and watch this. Arizona fans, you're going to be nail biters here this weekend. I just got news for you tonight. It's going to be a nail biter type game. So be be ready for it coming up as well. You're already going to be on edge. I told you earlier as well, going back to baseball here on home opener day around Major League Baseball for a lot of teams. D-backs Dodgers tonight. I found an article here about pitcher rankings here for baseball tonight, at least around. They ranked, The Athletic went out and they ranked every team's starting pitchers. And they put out there Dodgers number 1. They have Seattle number 2, shockingly enough. By the way, I do have Seattle winning that AL West this year. I also think, Lou just said, oh no, underneath his breath. I also think Seattle is going to make a run for I'm not saying they're going to make the World Series, but they're making a run for the World Series. They're going to have that talent going into it. But this Athletic article, Lou, because he's doubting me, has Seattle as the number 2 starting pitching staff going into the season. Lou says he bet on Seattle. So now, yeah, go fade me, folks, first of all. Yes, Lou's right on that. Lou, I apologize. Lou, earlier I was saying also, Aaron Judge, I put a bet on him yesterday, like an hour before the game last night, that Aaron Judge was going to do another 50-run home run season because he's already had 4. I'm like, he'll get his 5th one. You know, nobody else has done it. So I'm like, he'll get his 50th home run. And he went 0 for 4 last night. And I was like, oh, poor guy. I put this bet against him, and then he goes 0 for 4 last night.
You put a season bet.
It was a season bet, yeah. No, but it's just funny. It just goes to the point of, fade anything I do out there. But then, so I'm going to, like I said, later on, I started a graphic with my picks. I'll have it out some point today. Like I said, I'm not changing it because the team wins or loses today. So, because somebody will eventually go, you put this out after watching that game. It's a season-long thing. It's not going to matter. I've already got it. But I do have Seattle winning the AL West. I have a hard time with this as well. In the NL East, I don't know who's going to win that division. Blue Jays? Yankees? I don't know who's winning that division. But I have a hard time not thinking, and I've seen some other people say, the 3 wild cards are going to be from that division. Whoever doesn't win it, right? So if let's say the Blue Jays win it, it'll be Yankees, Red Sox, in that division going to the playoffs. What do you do with that division, man? That's a tough division. So I'm struggling with that, right? Trying to get that all settled and thing. The NL Central's another hard one. I do think the Cubs come out of there with a division win. I think Brewers might take a step back, but I've thought that for a couple years, and they just always continue to win going out there. So there's some question marks there coming up. But in terms of the Diamondbacks starting pitching and rankings here as well, from out there, they don't have them ranked very high going into it. Now, of course, you've got a couple guys injured and things to that effect going into the season. That would help your rankings a little bit. But the Athletic has the Diamondbacks 22nd for their starting pitching going into the season. Obviously, Zach Gallen goes tonight, Ryan Nelson tomorrow night, Rodriguez the next night. Then against the Tigers, Monday, you'd have Soroka, and then Brandon Pfaadt against the Tigers. Rotation goes until you get Merrill Kelly back. And you're waiting for Corbin Burns to come back as well. So it's interesting that they have this starting pitching ranked 22nd in Major League Baseball. I think it's probably average. I think 22nd might be a little too low here, especially when you get Kelly back. If he's healthy for the rest of the year, I think it's going to be good from that side. But I'm just looking from the national perspective of things here on how they're viewing the Diamondbacks out there. I told it earlier when Dale was here as well. This team is full of talent, folks. This narrative that the Diamondbacks don't have talent, I don't know where it comes from. One of the best second basemen in the league, if not the best, definitely one of the best. Perdomo is getting better. Perdomo is known within baseball circles. Now, fan base and stuff, they're just getting to know him. Perdomo is one of the better shortstops in the league as well. You've got a couple aging guys at first and third, more so at third. He can revitalize that bat this year, but their gloves you can rely on here coming up for those 2 guys. Look at their outfield. How are they rotating these outfield guys? Hitting is a concern for me, and scoring runs is going to be a concern for the Diamondbacks as the season goes on. They're going to have lulls where they're not going to score a bunch of runs, and I don't think their pitching staff, whether it be starters or bullpen, is going to be able to win a lot of games, 1-0, 2-1 type of stuff coming up here. So they'll lose some of those games this year because their bats don't get hot. But again, the Diamondbacks this year, I have them at 82 wins. I took the over on the season. I got it at 78.5. I saw on FanDuel last night it was 79.5. But I think the Diamondbacks are going to win 82 games this year, especially as they get more healthy, right? With Corbin Burns, Puck, Martinez coming back, et cetera, as the season goes on. Those are going to be like trade pickups. Now, they're not going to be, dominant like they were before. They're coming back from major serious injuries, but they're going to come back and be efficient enough that they're going to push them towards a playoff run. Now, I asked Dale, and he wouldn't commit to it. Do the Diamondbacks make the playoffs this year? I think this is another year where they fall short. And it's going to come down to games where Torey Lovello and this staff are going to struggle getting them out. It's going to come down to a losing streak they go through that they can't snap out of. I think the Diamondbacks just missed the playoffs like they have the last couple of years. Why would anything change this year that hasn't happened the last 2 years? What have they done differently? Same coaching staff. I know they've made some changes, but same coaching staff, same GM. I think that's just what we're facing on the Diamondbacks. I'd love to see them push in. I just think they're going to fall short with the push. And I hate to keep bringing this point. When you're on a playoff run there, is Ketel Marte be counted on? Or is he going to need a day off in the middle of a playoff push again, like he has before? You need him in the lineup as the second baseman there to get there. So you have all of those history stuff just bleeding back in here as well coming up. Now, how the Diamondbacks going to finish in this division? I don't know. What are the Giants going to do? Giants last year were in the hunt, and then they faded into the year. Are they going to have enough with their improvements to where they're going to push and make a run here and stay relevant in this division in that second spot, right, going later into the season? I don't know if they're going to or not. Go ahead, Lou. Hey, really fast, Kobe, throw on Lou's mic for me, would you? And then go ahead, Lou.
To win the West, the Dodgers are minus 650, means you have to put up $650 to win a Hundy.
Yep.
You put up a Hundy, you win 9 on the Padres, 17 on the Giants, and 22-1.
Yep.
Diamondbacks. So that pretty much handles that.
So you're saying don't do that?
I'm saying, how do you bet that?
Well, you take a small chance and get your plus 17.
Well, 17 is the Giants, if that's
the 17 is the Giants.
22 is the Diamondbacks.
I mean, Dodgers are winning this division, period, end of story. It's just, can you make the wild card is all you're playing for going into this season? And can you compete? Now, are the Padres going to take a step back this year? Maybe so, but they're still going to be pushing for that playoff run and stuff to that effect.
My big question is, where do you see San Fran? Because we know where LA is going to be.
Yep.
You just said what you thought.
San Fran's the wild card in this.
Yeah, where they end up, because that determines what 82 means.
Yes.
If, in fact, the Diamondbacks land on 82,
yes,
like you said.
And the Giants, to me, are the biggest wild cards, I just said, because last year they were in this. They were good. They were second place in this division for a lot of the beginning part of the season. And definitely in that third spot. And then they just tailed off as the season went on, like July, August timeframe.
But you also have old Tennessee coach and new San Francisco Giant coach Tony Vitello, right?
Absolutely. Yep. New
that
manager there.
That should be fascinating. That's adds unknown.
Which is kind of what I'm getting at here, Lou. This is why I don't think the Diamondbacks make the playoffs. Giants went, okay, this is what's happened the last couple of years. We're trying to improve with the new manager. Is he going to work out and make him get past over that hump? I don't know. But they made a chance and change. Diamondbacks are standing pat going into this year with a lot of talent. This is the same talent you had last year for the most part, and they couldn't make the playoffs the last couple of years. They just missed out.
They had expectation, though.
That's the thing. Torey Lovello does well with no expectations.
Their total went from 83 a year ago. We were talking to 88.5 or 80.
They won 89 2 years ago, 80 last year. And people are expecting him to take a little bit step back again. I think they won't. I think they're going to go back up, like I said, 82.
I like to think like you do.
But, again, I just can't pull the trigger because it's been the same thing the last couple of years with this team. When the playoff push happens, they just miss out. How's it going to change when everything's basically the same?
Well, you're at 0 of 162.
I know.
So the good news is in 4 weeks we can still talk about this, and you can then decide if you want to get into the market then or not.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you had before the season to start, you could start, and then after that, you're done.
You couldn't do anything. Now you can play
We
it.
can watch and monitor, so we're lucky.
Yeah, so it's going to be a fun season, I think, for the Diamondbacks. It's going to be a frustrating season. But to me, Lou, the Diamondbacks win and lose, and where they end up at the end of the season is just going to come down to the bullpen. How many games do they blow? How many games do all of that happen throughout the season? To me, that's what it comes down to. The hitting will be a problem this year at times. The scoring runs will be a problem at times this year. But to me, it comes down to their pitching, period, end of story. They're going to make the playoffs if their bullpen dominates, or not dominates, but does enough to get wins. And they're not going to make the playoffs if they just blow it in games. And the Diamondbacks have leads and they lose them, the 7th, 8th, 9th inning and can't make it up. To me, that's what it comes down to.
Has
Another
that been
bullpen
their
year.
problem? Was that an issue last year?
It's always been a problem. They
Well,
just
I mean,
don't
think
do the
about it.
bullpen.
That's how you win baseball now. The starting pitcher, if you're betting starting pitching, you better bet first fives because they take them out, and it is a game
they
of
take 'em out in the
bullpen.
5th, 6th inning, yeah.
Right, so you have to handicap the backside. That's
Yeah.
why guys like me don't bet baseball no more. I don't want to work that hard to know every single guy on 32 different rosters.
But that's why I say the Diamondbacks playoff push is going to come down to the bullpen. Starters don't go 7, 8, 9 innings for the Diamondbacks. very
they have
often.
talent, like you said. They have this coach, like I've always
You like him.
claimed. And it's the beginning of a season, and right now we're tied for first. So
Exactly. Tonight, home opener against the Dodgers tonight. They're at Dodger Stadium.
I hope we punch them right in the below the belly button.
Yamamoto tonight off that World Baseball Classic. Ugh, it's good. I think this might
It's a
be
perfect
tough one
time to
tonight.
catch him, actually.
We're coming back.
You know
as
what I'm
well.
saying? Big emotional, thing.
Here's the other thing. Last night we saw our first ABS challenge, Lou, in a live game, of course. Let's play this. Let's show it
Oh,
to you how
beautiful.
it went down. Umpire was upheld last night. But the bigger thing here is we saw our first ABS challenge in the 4th inning, no less.
One of their hitters is capable of doing damage, and he's got good stuff, so it's battle.
We've had our first ABS
What do you think of that, Lou?
challenge.
They called
ABS
it a
powered
strike.
by T-Mobile. And a call that was a strike. Here was the pitch in question. The pitch
I thought it was
challenged by
high and
Jose.
inside.
Yeah, look at that. Look how close that was.
Thought that
It
was
was
up and
on
in.
the
Challenge.
And they called it a strike.
He called
and
it a strike. It
and
was
they
upheld.
upheld it.
Yeah, but,
okay.
no, if a ball ticks that line, it's a strike.
If you're bringing the computer in, then you got to live by it. And
Yeah, that looked high and in. I don't blame him for challenging that. Here's
now
the
that
question
I see
you got, though.
I see the visual,
Yeah.
how can that not, for the normal person, force you to expand what the strike zone is? Because now it's bigger. Because only the bottom of the ball has to hit it.
Yeah, literally an inch of the ball.
Just like the
has to be
touchdown in the NFL.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that close. And so two things were fascinating. One, that umpire got that right. Congratulations, because that, like I said, that's literally as borderline as you can get right there. But then two, that was the 4th inning of the game. Now it was one challenge. There was only one challenge last night. It was interesting to see that the Yankees allowed their player nobody on. They're up 5-0. Maybe that had something to do with it. But wasting a challenge, or potentially wasting a challenge in the 4th inning with not a big situation and allowing him to challenge that. It's going to be fascinating to see. I want to see the first time here. I think if I was a manager, I would not allow anybody on my team to challenge a call unless bases are loaded in the 3rd and it's close enough to where you can get a run or two
Are you telling
or
me
stay
you
alive. But other than that, you need to keep these challenges till the 8th or 9th inning.
Are you telling me that you don't believe they talked about that last night or before the game,
no,
and that somebody made a mistake? What do you?
Well,
what are you
I'm saying I don't know.
insinuating?
That's what we don't know. Did they say, hey,
He must have. They
or
must
did
have
he
had
do it
it.
himself?
I'm saying they had a team meeting and they said, "Listen, if you know you got it,
Yeah.
you can exercise it. But if you're wrong, you lose it for the rest of the season."
Because
kind of
I
thing,
want
huh?
to see the first team that uses their challenges in arbitrary situations like that. And then the 8th inning comes up and bases are loaded, 2 strikes, a 3-2 count, and the umpire calls it strike 3 and it's a ball and you don't have challenges left and you're down by 1 run. Or the 9th inning that happens. That's what I want to see happen and watch the freak out.
A couple times you said challenges. How many do you get?
You get 2.
Okay. they're
Well,
very
no,
good.
you get 2, but if you get them right, so you can lose 1. When you lose the second one, you get no more. So you can have 1,000 challenges in a game if you just keep getting them right.
So what if you get one wrong and the next one right?
Then
still
you get,
have
you get another
one?
challenge.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
it's
you're
like
able to
football
miss one before you
timeouts.
lose them both. Yeah. So
Very
they
good.
lost that challenge because it was upheld. They had one more that they could have
Okay,
had.
very good.
So yeah, I mean, technically you could lose it, but I mean, how many times in a baseball game have you seen it? 7th inning, or even let's say 5th inning, bases loaded, questionable call. You could stay alive if you challenge it and you win it. So you use that one, and then again, it's 8th inning, same type of a situation. You're down 1. You challenge that, you lose that one. You don't have it. 9th inning, umpire wants to get out of there, calls a questionable strike 3. You can't challenge it, and you lose the game. It'll be interesting to see the reaction from people when that happens. That's what I'm fascinated by. Is are people going to freak out about it, or are they going to go? It's a regular season game kind of a situation.
Well, I hope we're going to hope that the team executing that play doesn't bumble like that,
Yes.
because I think, as you point out, looking as you're highlighting right now, clearly to use that in the 4th inning on no importance.
Now they were up 5-0. I mean, you could lose that game still, I guess.
Oh, they're up
But,
5-0.
yeah, the Yankees were up
and
5-0 when he challenged it.
Oh,
yeah.
that makes it even worse of a challenge.
Nobody
I
on
think.
base.
I think that makes it even worse of a challenge.
Yeah. Nobody on base.
So
yeah.
I think to me, my guess would be that the individual made a mistake.
Yeah, because there's no even
batter.
afterwards. I watched the Netflix after game. Barry Bonds is on there and a couple other guys. I forget who there was. They were really critical of him challenging in that situation.
Oh, very
also.
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think it was Barry Bonds that said, "Now, if it's the 3rd
Hey, bro,
inning, bases are loaded, that's a different challenge. Challenge it then at that point." But he goes, in that situation, like they were very critical of him challenging that with nobody on.
If it's baseball and Barry Bonds is talking, I'm listening.
You know what? It's the Barry Bonds. I said it on Twitter last night. It's the Barry Bonds redemption tour. Like A-Rod was really hated when he left playing the sport of baseball. And he's kind of redone that image a little bit, all because of the broadcasting side of things. So
And
Barry Bonds, I
time.
think Barry Bonds is now, it's the Barry Bonds redemption tour to try to get into the Hall of Fame, where now you're going to find out Barry Bonds is a likable guy. You're going to find this out.
Well,
It's just he's an a-hole to you. but he
Well,
he does have a good personality. He just, as a player and stuff, hated people and didn't want to talk to you. So he's going to
okay.
redempt himself, and you're going to find out you like him. So I call it the Barry Bonds redemption, but he's very smart.
Well, just from the outside looking in, judging him as a ball player, he's as good as it got.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was a Hall of Famer before he started doing all that other stuff and everything. Hey, that's Lou's voice you hear here. So let's take our break, come back, get Lou's segment on here as well. A lot of
Sorry
talk
to
about
horn
Lou.
in.
No, you're good. Opening day for individual ballparks today, Lou. I have this whole opening day spiel. I'll spare you for a minute. It's ridiculous.
You don't have to. I'm fired up. You put me in the mood when I came in here, and
Yeah.
you're talking hardball.
10:15 is the first games here this morning and everything. So I know, and like I said, I'll apologize to you now about your Seattle bet.
We'll see how it goes. Really, it's a whole season. long.
Their starting pitching is so good.
I believe what I did was took him to win the division.
Okay, yeah. I think, the Astros will be the only ones that can put the knot in that. And I think the Astros.
We don't
are
know
going-
that. Who knows if the Angels
It ain't
pull
gonna
one
be
out of
the
there? Well,
That
who
owner,
else?
that owner saying all that
Houston,
stuff.
Seattle, the Angels, and then there's the ever dangerous A's, right?
A's are going to be better than the Angels this year. So come on back. Lou's up next, folks. The main event. And we're back here, main event, having some fun, finishing up that hour there with some baseball talk. Of course, Arizona underway tonight. And then this guy, Uncle Lou, joins us. Gamblu.com, of course. VSiN, you can find him as a contributor on some of their shows on VSiN Live as well. Gamblu, how you doing today?
Good morning, everybody.
It's all.
I just want to say how flattering it is to be able to come here each week, get in front of a professional recording studio, and share thoughts about investing in sports gaming, which is what Steve lets me do. It's a casual format, but we're serious.
Yes.
And we're hopefully trying to help everyone contribute to everyone's line of thought pertaining to gambling. Doesn't mean you have to gamble. It just means if you are, you can listen to thoughts here, decide what you want to do with them. I've done this for a long time. I have a web page that's called gamblu.com. There you can go and get everything there is to know about me, but I live in Phoenix. I get to Vegas often. It's an easy drive. This is the culture I've been involved with for almost 50 years now, actually longer than that, but professionally for probably 40 years or so. And Steve lets me come on here and share ideas about all the sports that are going on. That's why it's exciting. Right now, you got hockey playoffs, baseball opening day.
We're 2 weeks away from hockey playoffs starting, Lou.
The Sweet 16's going on. I'm not a basketball guy, but that's a huge event that people pay attention to. So there's a lot happening. The Masters are around the corner. The Kentucky Derby's May 1, so you got action coming up. And we're here to try and give you perspective on it. And what you do with it's up to you. So on our webpage, we highlight the oldest mission in the state called the San Xavier Mission. If you go to the top band of Gamblu and go all the way to the right, you'll see that the San Xavier Mission is near and dear to our hearts. And we just want everyone to know that they're doing great work. It's the oldest mission in the country. They're doing great work down there. We highlight them, we contribute to them, and invite others to do so. Lastly, I do 2 podcasts, both pertaining to the UFC. One's the Sneak Teep podcast each week. On Sunday, it comes out. It's an opening line report on the upcoming week's fights. No one with any right mind listens to that unless, of course, you're interested in gambling on UFC fights. If, in fact, you're interested in gambling on UFC fights, then you want to listen to this podcast because I tell you where the opening lines are and where they've moved immediately, so you have a full week ahead of time, which is more than enough time to watch those numbers percolate through the week. Then Friday, I do About Business podcast. That's tomorrow. After weigh-ins, final releases. And lo and behold, we go 4-1 last week and had a huge week. And that does happen once in a while, too. So it's always nice when that happens. Steve lets me highlight that infomercial on myself each day. So
I'm mostly proud of it because you also say when you have terrible weeks. So you're not one of those guys that's like, oh, I went 4-1, and then when you lose or have a bad week,
then we never mention. No, I do mention it when
I like it.
And because I mention it when I have a bad week, I have to mention it when I have a good week. Otherwise, people think that I'm an anchor over here, and I'm not. We do find success every once in a while. So enough about yesterday's success means jack squat today. Let's talk about what we got upcoming. And then we got a full court of stuff to discuss.
Yeah, busy day today. Of course, UFC fights from Seattle this weekend. Right. We just got done with London last week. We'll talk about that a little bit. Got some questions about last week's fight. But before we get into that, well, it's interesting you said, we do a casual here. That's kind of if you guys know anything about most of my shows, McCollum on Business is a little formal. But other than that, I like to have a little fun. So somebody actually reached out and said, the professionalism can be lacking on your show. He actually said that to me. And I was like, well, that's what VSiN's for.
On this show?
Yeah, I go, so it's funny you brought that up. Did he message you too?
No.
But my response was, if you want that formal gambling stuff, that's what VSiN's for. They do it professionally and that stuff. We're here to have a little bit of fun while we're talking.
You're a sports show that provides a segment for it.
Yeah.
I'm flattered you do, and I'm glad you do, and I hope we earn our position because this is a fun hour of the week every week.
Yeah, it was funny. It's just interesting. It was a few weeks ago, but I was just like, really? You're complaining that I'm not formal enough?
I would say that if you're starting to get every once in a while a critique and it's rough and it's not, then you're doing okay.
Yeah, that's the way I
you know
look
what I'm
at it.
saying. That's a good thing probably, because I know you get good compliments.
Oh yeah,
as well.
yeah. More so good than bad. To be
And
honest
those are
with you, so.
those are the easy ones to respond to as well.
No, I take it. I'll take the criticism, but it's also, like I said, we could, Lou, take this show and go do a Wiesn type show, more formal and that stuff, but just not my style, and that's not what we do here on the main event. So,
Yeah, I'm glad.
and I think
we
I think it's a different perspective as well, because I do watch those types of shows also, and they're entertaining for what you want, but also, like you said, gamblers are paying attention to us right now, but so are non-gamblers because of how we do this in entertaining. I can't tell you enough times where there's some UFC fights that I don't bet on, Lou, and I'll be talking to somebody and I'll be like, oh no, do this. It allows me to converse with somebody in an intelligent way that I wouldn't be able to otherwise, and not even have any bets on it or anything like that effect. So I think it just makes me look smart. And I have to thank Lou for that.
Well, I will say this. I can tell you, because NHL playoffs are right in front of me and I got UFC, I prioritize, and I could not really name more than 2 or 3 players on the Diamondbacks team. He just got done talking about 4 guys by name that are in the bullpen. So your knowledge on and you come from a perspective of the fan.
Yes.
You need to apologize to nobody and do your thing. I think you're out there to invoke opinion. So if you're getting response, that's a good
Well,
thing.
no, I mean, opinion host. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
We're not your news person or anything. We're here for our opinions and what we think. And Lou, look, you don't cover college basketball, but Sweet 16 gets underway today. Well, first of all, are you nervous about your Cats tonight?
I've been a vocal critique, a criticizer. I'm not getting the right word, but I've been one that has not been pro Arizona in the NCAA tournament, simply because their history has been to bully everybody in the pack all the way in, and then when they get in, they pull a hammy. Well, this year they weren't in the pack. They were in a much more difficult league, and they did respectfully. And all my Cat friends are telling me this is a different year, and I hope it is. I have them to make the Final Four from the beginning of the year, just because that's a heart bet that I put out there, and so that would be a nice ticket to cash if they can. They seem to be set up well for it, but we don't know, and especially now, there's been no underdogs up till now. It's been really,
for the most part,
it's really been non-competitive. Well, now you're getting down to good teams either way, and this Arkansas has a guard that is really good. So, and we have young guys. So, and you don't want to listen to me about the positions because it's not my sport. I'm regurgitating
I brought up
what
the
I've
coaching
heard.
situation. John Calipari, I respect highly as a college coach.
He is the Arkansas coach, and we play Arkansas, right?
Yep. So I think highly of him. I think it's going to be a closer game, but Lou brought in, he knows a lot of people in the industry, brought in some picks for us today.
So I brought these are my buddy Matt Human's picks, who I gave last week, as well as that crazy doctor who I haven't spoken with in a few days for other reasons. So here's Human's picks for this weekend. And I would say there are positions that I have won already, because when he put these out, I took it right away. First one is Texas plus 7.5. Texas plays, I can't even, Purdue. And
the winner of that game plays Arizona.
And favorites have beat the brains out of underdogs in this tournament the whole way, against the spread and straight up. So here's a dog, and it's Texas plus 7.5. And he ain't done with dogs yet. He's on the Illini tonight plus 3.5, and that 3.5 long gone. That's now a 2.5 or 3 if you can get it. I'd tell you to wait before that game tips. I really like the Illini a lot, and I'll tell you why. Because in my bracket, I knew no one would take them, and I used the Illini to win it all. And if they win this game, they play the winner of Iowa and Nebraska, and I think they set up well to do well. Now,
by the way, they play Houston in Houston.
Yes, no, I get it. I get the whole thing, but that's why I'm saying I like Illinois. That's not what. That's even though that's one of Human's picks. I hope he's right with that.
Well, I mean, it's a 2 versus 3 seed. It's just Houston's playing like a mile from their campus.
The whole world's on Houston.
Yeah.
I just love.
By the way, it is a 2.5-point spread on FanDuel right now.
I knew
just
it
so
was going to
everybody
get to this game anyway, so let's bring it on. Okay, here's his third pick, and that's the Johnnies. St. John's getting 7.5 against who the hell they play?
Duke. Yeah.
They play Duke. They're getting 7, not 7. That's a big difference. 7.
Right now on FanDuel, it's 6.5.
There you go.
Because he
So-
put this out yesterday, right? Or when did these picks come
Yeah,
out?
but I'm looking right now.
Oh, you're looking right now? Okay. I'm using FanDuel.
I'm looking across all
Okay.
kinds of
Yeah.
sports.
I got
books.
6.5 right now on FanDuel for Duke to.
Oh, you know what? Most of them are 6.5. There's a 7 at Circa. There's a 7 at Circa. They're all 6.5. Good, astute point. So what that means is that there's a little bit of St. John's action. They don't want to make them as attractive as 7. So you may want to wait and see how that one works. Anyway, St. John's.
I do like
plus
St.
7.
John's tonight. I don't know if I'm going to pick them to win,
that
but I do like
tonight?
them tonight. Or you know what that is? That
Friday.
tomorrow? That's tomorrow. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Okay, and then the next one is also a Friday game, and that's UConn minus 1.5, and they're
Michigan State.
minus anywhere from 1 to 2, anywhere you look.
Yeah, 1.5 at FanDuel right now, and I know
There you go.
DraftKings was 1.5 this morning as well when I looked. So.
FanDuel 1.5, DraftKings 1.5. They're all one. Yeah, they're mostly 1.5. Sports. Westgate's got a deuce. Caesars, the Vegas places have 2s.
Really?
Okay, so that's the 4. Basketball. I wish I could help.
Well, he's
more
got
with
Connecticut
that.
as the favorite. Were you saying? I'm sorry. I might have cut
He
you
has
off.
Connecticut minus 1.5, and that's where they stand.
That's the one game that I'm like, I don't know who's going to win that. That's a
and
toss-up
that's
in
the
my
one I
eyes.
already bet. I didn't bet him minus 1.5. I took him minus 120 on a money line, and I bet that one pretty good.
Yeah, and it's minus
And White-
128 right now on the
And
money
the only
line.
reason I did is I think maybe no one has ridden Izzo longer and harder for decades than me. No one. But I think this one might be a time, right? The right time to jump off, because to me, what makes more sense than UConn St. John's in a rubber match?
Yeah, I
Oh,
agree
baby.
with that. Yeah, and UConn, if they make it to the Sweet 16 under Dan Hurley, they win championships. So that's how they won the last 2. Interesting looking back stat. there
It
for
should be a
UConn.
really fun weekend of basketball. Even I get fired up for this weekend in basketball because these games are good. Arizona, I think we learn a lot about Arizona, and that's tonight, isn't it?
Yep, at 6:45. I think we learned a lot about Arizona last week against Utah State. That was
Utah State was a bunch of
That's a
little
game-
scrappers.
That's a game that Arizona traditionally would have lost in the
Yes,
tournament.
you know what?
And they pulled it out.
During that game, there were many feelings within me that are like, here we go again, baby.
Yeah.
Here they come. And then they close it to 2, and then
Yeah.
got run away again. But
Yeah.
whatever.
So I think that set them up. Because I think tonight for Arizona is going to be a close, hard-fought game. I think they have the talent to get past it. But there are a lot of dangers in this game tonight, including head coaching style. Plus, I brought up, Lou, I don't know if you take this into account. North Carolina position's open. Supposedly the Kansas head coaching position's
yes.
opening up. Tommy Lloyd's going to be talked about in those. He had to address it yesterday beforehand.
Uh-huh.
And I don't care what you say. A coach can say, I'm focused on Arizona. His agent isn't. His agent's trying to find him the best
Yeah,
human
but they're not
deal
asking.
out there.
They're not asking
No,
the
but
agent the questions.
You got that that's the problem. It's a little bit of a distraction here sneaking in. Might not come into fruition tonight, but maybe the next game it gets louder and things. So it's something to watch as well from the Arizona perspective, in my opinion. Because you can't tell me that a head coach at Arizona isn't going to look at Kansas.
I
and
love
go, I don't want that.
I love to find the smallest crevasse to be able to crawl through and debate you on the other side of. But in this case, I think I have to read you loud and clear and say that it's more than nothing,
Yeah.
right?
I'm just sorry.
And each
Any
day
basketball coach's dream is to coach at Kansas. I mean, you could say the same for UNC.
Oh, no,
There's some other
I
stuff.
would say,
but
Roy
Kansas.
Williams left Kansas to go to UNC, so I'd have to say it's
UNC has some other stuff happening that I think knocks it down. It's still don't get me wrong. You want to coach at either one of those, but especially Kansas, I think, is the one that you would look at.
How do Tommy J? What's our guy's name?
Tommy Lloyd?
Tommy Lloyd. How does he and Self get along? Because
Well,
Self's going to probably help
Take his
appoint
guy.
him.
Exactly right. I don't know. But then the rumors came out yesterday that Tommy Lloyd and his athletic director had some issues this year, and they're still there. That snuck out yesterday morning
Ooh.
as well.
Ooh, you
whether
know what
sure
that
or
means?
not,
That means Arizona better get to the table with the pen.
and
That's traditionally not their deal.
no, that's why I said that's why that leaked out yesterday morning. Is Tommy Lloyd's team
Imagine
going?
that.
Hey, we'll stay. It's going to cost you for
That's
us
right.
to stay.
Imagine
And stuff like-
that.
so that's what I'm saying. It's not the fact that he could go to Kansas or go to North Carolina.
It's the
It's
fact that he's getting a raise.
He's going to get some money here out of
Yes,
this from
damn
Arizona
right he
if he's
is.
going to stay. Does that? I don't care who you are. You're a human. You could be focusing on Arkansas all you want tonight, but he was fielding those questions yesterday. You're having conversations with your agent on what the parameters and what you want him to do, and you're taking your focus off of it. I'm not saying it's going to be an issue, but it's something to watch. I think coming up here for Arizona on the coaching side, so it'll be fascinating to see where it goes. Once the game tips off, I think it goes by the wayside. But it comes to preparation in my eyes. You know who's not dealing with that? John Calipari. He's perfectly fine at Arkansas, and he's not paying attention to that other stuff. So he comes in a little bit more focused with his coaching level. I'm going to be watching that closely tonight. And Arizona should win this game, but I'll be watching it regardless. So, hey, baseball season starting. What do you got for us on baseball? Any thoughts?
Gosh, this is such a great time of year because, yes, I do have a few thoughts. I'll remember most of my wagers because there aren't a lot. I have to make the playoffs or not make the playoffs. I used the Diamondbacks to make the playoffs at 2-1, just over 2-1, plus 210. Small wager. I used the Padres to miss the playoffs, and I bet minus 130 on that. I paid a little price there. I took Seattle to win their division minus 105. And to me, that's close to a even bet. I love the bet because I didn't have a big minus price in front of that. My wager that I'm hanging my hat on, and the biggest wager that I have, is the Indians under 80.5 games, minus 105. I took that some time ago. And I took it because ex-Indian closer Jensen Lewis does the VSiN show with Dave Ross, and they have me on each Friday. And as I was doing my season totals, I was looking at Cleveland, and I knew Jensen was that. So I said, hey, I mean, looks like Cleveland could have their hands full this year. You know, what's your thought? When he got done with me, I raced to the computer to take the under in Cleveland 80.5. I believe that number is now 79.5 is better as best.
It was as of last night.
Yeah,
I didn't
as
check
best
today.
you can do. But and so I also took, full disclosure, and it was only plus 235, the Dodgers to win the World Series.
I took that yesterday too, Lou.
Did you get that close to that price?
I think it was 230. I can look it up.
Yeah,
real
it's
quick
just
here.
something right there.
Yeah.
So
I was shocked. I was shocked at that. I'll take
well,
them
no,
2-1.
that's no value at all. But you know what? I think it's potentially
Yeah.
you're surely gonna get to the pennant.
I know
And
it's
at
not
that
good
point in
numbers, but
time-
I expected it to be actually less. The closest team to him, I think, was the Yankees.
I mean, the way they have it
plus
set up.
1,000.
I mean, if you were a wise guy, a lot of wise guys are taking the Yankees, the Dodgers under 102.5.
That's what I did.
Because they know that they don't give two poops about making 105 games. They
Last
just
year
want
they
to
won.
be fresh
Last year they
going
won
into the playoffs.
103, so I went under.
And they
on
were
that
under,
one also.
right.
Yeah.
So baseball starts, and so if you see the bets that I make, none of them is day by day bets or to win the month or any of that, because at this point in time, my focus has to be on College World Series and hockey playoffs, not in that order, the opposite order.
I got Dodgers at plus 210, by the way, to win
Plus
the World
210,
Series.
okay.
Yesterday, around 10 o'clock yesterday morning,
Yeah,
11
so,
o'clock. So
so
I don't know what it's changed to now.
2-1, you shop around, you'll find 230 or 240, but that's kind of where I sit there. If the Dodgers blow, then I'm a loser, and I gotta hope that some of my other positions win. The key one is the under on Cleveland. That one is 5 times all the others together.
That makes sense. I didn't look at Cleveland for the over-unders. Last year they surprised everybody and outperformed. So.
Like having an ex-Major League Baseball closer as my buddy telling me about his old team who he still loves. So, and there could be heart in him, but he was disappointed overall.
I saw yesterday. I generally don't do bets like this, but it was just a little fun one I did. I found this a Survivors one on FanDuel here. So basically, the last team to not be shut out. No, to not be shut out on the season, meaning
the
0
last
runs.
Team, okay, so the chalk would be the Dodgers.
Yeah, plus 850.
And then the next one would be what, the Yankees?
It was the Yankees.
Yeah.
But then, plus 850 for the Dodgers. So I went ahead and put a little $5 on that, on the Dodgers to not be the last team shut out this year.
Interesting. Well,
which means they'll go 0 for today.
Well, no, they're usually slow starters.
That's what I mean. I know.
So.
Yeah. But plus 850, I was like, oh, it'll be a fun little,
you know what?
fun little
good
bet
for you
to do.
Have fun, because you know what keeps, as I will always say, keeps your nose in the sports page each day. Nobody has a sports page anymore. It's all computerized. Back in my day, it was the sports page, and so I was looking at box scores. That's how we got all the information we get off of this machine.
Well, then it was even funnier because last night the Giants got, and I was like, "There's one team out." So it's a little bit of fun last night with the blowout game.
You got a little graph, and you can put your little check marks there.
I won't pay attention to it again until it'll pay out or it won't.
Hell no.
I'll
every day.
I'll see the zeros, but I'm not going to be like, who got shut out today?
I'll be checking the page almost every day to see what Cleveland does all season long. That's what the fun of that bet is.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just saw that and just something was like, I'll do a little bet on that. That seems like a fun thing to do. But that is the problem with the Dodgers is slow starts. You got to wonder. You got to worry a little bit on that, but it's just a fun little $5 thing.
All I worry about is that they're all healthy come the end of September, baby.
What else we got? I know college baseball, ASU's on fire right now.
How about ASU in college baseball?
Man, they can't lose right now. I know they lost, but they're on fire, and they were without their best player.
They're competitive, and they're every night, all 3 or 4 nights, wherever they go.
They just got their best player back after missing a few weeks, and they were winning while he was gone.
And I don't have them, and they were long, so and I really took no long shots. Most of my releases, if you go back a few blogs on Gamblu, I should update those. They're all alive. Every one of them is alive, but it doesn't matter who's alive right now in March and April. It matters in May when they start the tourney. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm watching college baseball, but a lot of focus on hockey. Hockey's got 8-10 games left.
2 weeks, so we'll be in the playoffs.
Now I can start to look at teams, and besides monitoring, you can see playoff overtime wins, overtime losses.
That's what you look at.
Shootout wins, shootout losses. A team that loses 10, 11 games via the shootout, that tells you they're not a shootout team, but that doesn't mean they can't play 60 minutes of hockey. And so I'm really doing my work on hockey right now. To get ready for the playoff season. And there is playoff type games as teams compete to get to that wild card.
Detroit's sucking.
And it's not out of the question that between now and the time the playoffs start, 3 weeks from now, put out 1 or 2 hockey thoughts on Twitter. I might do it. If I do, I feel like I have a good feel for it. And I'll have something on it myself. I won't put it out if I don't have something on it myself. And so that's kind of just to put my toe in the water and test myself again publicly, because I do this publicly. That's a good practice point.
Detroit, by the way, lost 2 in a row now. They're 2 games out. Islanders ahead of them, and they're both outside the playoffs looking in. Detroit's been in the playoffs last couple of years with that a couple of weeks. Ottawa's now in there in that second spot, and then Boston's in that first wild card spot in the East. But the Islanders are also there. So Red Wings are in a battle here for that second wild card spot, and they're on the outside looking in. But Buffalo, Tampa Bay, and Montreal are still doing really, really well there in the East. And Buffalo's getting better, Lou, as the season goes on. They're gonna. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they contend to.
Yeah, Buffalo believes. I have a little wager on them for the East. Is more recreational than anything. I'd like to invest in the Canadians, partly because I like the way they play. The other part is when I was a little kid growing up, I love the Canadians. If I got a sliver of something, there's Canadian blood in me a little bit. Plus, I'm a hockey fan. I want what's best for the league, and it's so good when Canadian teams make the playoffs and go deep. It would be even better if one could hoist, but we could be a few years away from that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Colorado and Dallas, by the way, have even though Dallas has lost 2 in a row now, but they both clinched playoff spots as well.
Yeah, and everybody
going into
looks at them as the big two that it's inevitably coming down to. And I beg to differ over there. I think in the West, Minnesota could have something to say about it, and I'm not putting it out that where are they? The Kings.
The Kings are third. They're right outside there. They're 3 points back behind Nashville right now.
Yeah, we got a lot of hockey to play. We'll have to see how it goes. But really,
Kings got hot when they hired that new head coach, and then they've kind of stumbled.
Well, they're not too far away, and they got Nashville, who I'm not sure belongs, and Utah, who might belong.
Utah's won 5 in a row. I'm sorry, not Utah. Nashville's won 5 in a row. They've gotten hot at the right time.
Right.
So we'll see. But yeah, that's coming up, of course. Lou, anything else on any of those sports?
No, I think we got them covered. Well, how about that?
Let's take our break here. Come on back. Last week's UFC action from London. A couple questions there on a couple of those fighters. Then, of course, this weekend up in Seattle, of all places. Speaking of Seattle. So come on back. It's the main event with Uncle Lou. Lou's trying to talk some sense into me and stop worrying about the Diamondbacks and just watch the games. All right, Lou. Let me project what I think is going to happen on everything and be a worrywart.
I'll watch a month and then pipe in.
Well, they have a tough. I'm not going to judge the Diamondbacks by their first schedule. They have a tough beginning of the schedule.
Good.
So we'll see how they come out on that.
Let's find out.
And then we'll go from there, right, in terms of that side. But UFC last week, Lou, was up there in London. Man, that was fun. Early fights. I felt like the fights went on a little bit long, like at 4 o'clock. I'm like, am I still watching UFC fights? I feel like the whole event went a little bit long, but it might have just been my perception of it out there. A couple fights I have to ask you on here as well. In the prelims there, your buddy, Brando Persic, they're from Australia against Sutherland. You were big on Brando there. Round 1 KO for him. Minute 48 into that fight. Are you still high on Persic going forward, or were you impressed with that victory?
Well, listen, the Sutherland's Englishman fighting in front of his home crowd, so you know you're going to get his best effort. And it's hard to judge the other young man, Persic, the Aussie Balkan fighter. He fights out of Australia. But he was violent. He went right after it. And the heavyweight division is starved for any kind of explosive talent. So he'll rise quickly to the ranks, just like
We'll talk about our buddy there,
Waldo Cortez Acosta, who has risen because the heavyweight division is thin.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. he was what I traditionally think of a heavyweight fighter. Just goes in there toe to toe, just wailing on everybody, takes some shots, lays the power out there. You saw that from him. We've seen a lot of heavyweights lately that go the distance. They're tired in round 2.
But their
They're hugging
physiques
each
aren't
other.
what this kid's was.
And it just that's what my question to you was. Did he stand out because he's what you think a heavyweight fighter is? Is the talent really there, or is it just that he looked the part, and that's why I was so impressed with him?
At 245 pounds, he looked the part, okay?
He did.
Against a 265-pounder that's slow, can't move, and is chinny. All right. But what happens when he gets into the upper echelon? I think he could do well if he can get over
he impressed me.
the size difference. Yeah. He's going to be the smaller guy. But if he can be the quicker, faster guy and land aggressive shots to their noggin like that, he can put anyone out. It's just what happens when he gets to Gane. What happens, when he gets to Pereira or some of these elite heavyweights.
That's why I'm asking about him. I was really impressed with him, and I was like, this kid's going somewhere. And then I started thinking, yeah, but it was that who he was facing? Is it just the way he fought? That's what I expect when he gets up there. So we'll have to wait and see. Huh?
It's like the Patriots. They made it to the Super Bowl, and everybody's telling you they didn't play anybody. They played everyone on their schedule. All this kid can do is fight who they give him, and they'll give him a better opponent next. And if he runs through him like he did this guy, then he's got some money to make.
Well, I mean, the other heavyweight fight, Mario Pinto and Felipe Franco, more like what I was talking about, kind of what you see with the heavyweight division. Yeah, they landed shots and things, but a third-round decision, and it was kind of a disappointment based off of the one we just saw there with Perisic.
It was, but you got to understand, Franco's a 205er, and so he was 238 or something, and fought a legitimate 265-pound
there was
heavyweight
a big size
to a
difference.
decision. That's why it looked lackluster, because the little guy got tired, beating the bejeebies out of the big dude, and the big dude had a hard time catching up to the little dude. So that one went kind of as
the size difference in that fight was they kept referencing it too, and it was amazing.
Yeah,
we got to talk about your buddy Nathaniel Wood. He went in. You thought he could do it. I put money on him as well. Went in there against Chieta and got the split decision. I thought he won that fight. I didn't think there was a question about it. Going into it, and Wood did what you thought he would do last week.
Wood did what we thought he would do. We know the kind of man he is. We've talked about that here. He's a good, solid stand-up dude. They gave him a young up-and-comer making his debut into the UFC, and he missed his weight the last time out. That caused a snafu that the UFC wasn't happy about. So they give him Wood. This was no favor to Chieta that they give him Wood, and then you see the result. And yet Wood was plus 200. So they're just like another one. Every once in a while we hit one. And that one, you bet one, you win two. That made a good opening run for us as we hit this card and hit nailed a few others.
I literally I went to decision. I was like, Wood's got this. And I was like, man, look at Lou selling Wood like he did and everything.
Oh,
it was fantastic.
Well, it's nice to hit one once in a while, especially 76-23. What's that? Favorites in the UFC.
Dominant
That's
right
like
now.
76%. That it runs 62, 63 usually. It's really hard to find underdogs right now, and so I'm not deterred. I just have to lower the amount of selections and try and shoot a little bit straighter, and that's tough for a cross-eyed guy.
Hey, Danny Silva, round 2, 30 seconds into it, beat Curtis Campbell in this fight in the featherweight bout there. Danny Silva, I tried to go back and look through my notes, see what you said about Silva. I don't remember what you thought about Silva going into this fight, but did it change your opinion the way he won that fight in that second round?
It did, because I got carried away and used Curtis Campbell in one side of a parlay.
That's what I remembered you liking Campbell.
That was a loss for me. And Silva showed me a lot. Campbell he looked as a fighter like he looks as a human being, nerdy, soft, and weenie. And that's how he fought. And Silva kicked his butt. That was our loss. So we turn the page.
Yeah, CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan got the unanimous decision in his fight against Dolidze.
Yeah, that was a showcase for CLD. He's good. He's going to be there. He's a threat, and meanwhile, Dolidze is a gatekeeper that'll fight, other guys like Jack Hermanson and other.
CLD seemed surprised it went to a decision. I mean, he gave him all the credit. I would say surprised, but were you kind of surprised, or did you think the decision? You thought kind of a different fight for CLD there? Because I seemed like he thought, I wanted to knock him out and do all this stuff. And gave him
Dolidze's
the
a
credit.
freaking tough dude, and this was 185, but Dolidze fights also at 205.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for any 185er to knock Dolidze out.
Your boy Ewo. Oh my goodness, you were not wrong about this guy.
I told you this dude is a monster.
I don't even think the fight. I didn't even get a chip from the dip to my mouth
no,
before
you
that
didn't.
fight was over.
That was the end of that.
I jokingly put out. Did it even start? Wow. I mean, Austin Lane was a little upset that the ref called it,
No,
but I mean that
he was freaking
you
cold.
had to have, man. Yeah, I mean, I thought it funny afterwards with Ewo because he said, I thought I'd have to wrestle in this one. I'd be able. He wants to show off his abilities and other
He
things.
can't get there.
But first round knockouts
He
nonstop.
can't get there. He
Yeah.
touches people and they just freaking
Yeah, so I did
collapse.
find that ironic that he actually said, I worked hard on wrestling on this.
Oh,
Thought I
no,
might have to
yes.
wrestle in this fight. And he goes, first, he's Polish, so he's broken English. He goes, knockout. What are you going to do?
Yeah, right.
It was so great at the end. But that guy is just violent. And he doesn't look the violent part, which is even more amazing to see from him. So I just want to give you props for that. I mean, you sold that, and it was 28 seconds of just pure joy watching him in that ring as well.
Right.
A Page against Patterson in this fight, unanimous decision here again in
You
this
went from
welterweight.
opposite fights. A great fight. There was an early knockout to one where nothing is like watching paint dry.
Both of these guys are fades to you.
No, Michael Venom Page he was going forward trying to make a fight. Patterson wanted nothing to do with him and stayed on the outside and danced around. I blame it all on Patterson.
Okay,
Page
that's
is
what I
shouldering the blame from people that have an opinion.
Yeah.
But my opinion is that Page was the one moving forward, trying to
He
initiate
was.
something.
He couldn't do anything. Yeah.
But you can't dance if she says no, bro. You can't do it.
Yeah, that's why I asked. That's what you're here for, because I watched that fight and went, both
That's what
these
you
guys are
saw.
awful. These guys
And
are
then
both
right-
awful.
yeah.
So that's why I asked you. Luke Riley and Aswell Jr. here. Riley got the win. Another unanimous decision here in a featherweight bout. Do you like Riley after this fight?
Yeah, I do, but he's now got to understand that he's moving up into the most elite combat organization in the world, and he's just not going to be able to knock everyone out. This kid Aswell shows up tough from Texas.
Yeah.
Texas tough. Yeah, he lost, but he didn't go anywhere. So Luke Riley going to have to refine his game, and Aswell, is a guy that we keep an eyebrow up on in his next fight, depending who he gets.
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed with Aswell, but on Riley, I thought he just expected to show up and win. If I may say that way about him, I think, like you said, kind of a learning curve for him here. Of okay, maybe this is tougher than I thought it would be.
You never heard of a wise young owl, have you?
That is very true. Evolov and Murphy, I think everybody expected this to go to a majority decision here for Evolov in this fight here. Change your opinion on this guy at all? I wasn't impressed with this final fight.
I was surprised. I was close to stunned at the decision. I thought Murphy at the worst had a draw.
Yeah. The majority,
Murphy
I thought it should have been a split.
The fact that they gave it to Evloev, and I had all kinds of wagers on him, it changed my night. But yet I was left. I don't want to say even bittersweet. A little confused because I banked. The people that follow me bank. We all won on our Evloev bets, but I don't know that it was really right. But I've been on the wrong side of them where I have indigestion into the Sneak Teep podcast the next Sunday morning. And so this one was kind of nice because I record the results and it was win, 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 lose. So, it was a pleasant recording of the results, but I think, and at home, I'm surprised.
England fighter, yeah.
I'm surprised at the result. That said, it's Evloev Volkanovski moving ahead, I would think.
Well, that's the question, right? Did they go? I'm not calling shenanigans, but did they go that route for the next fight?
Well,
setup is what
Volkanovski's
they're
saying
looking at.
how long do I keep sidestepping this guy?
Yeah.
So he's asking for everybody. Said, we'll see what the organization does.
Yeah, I mean, the fight itself, like you said, I thought it was kind of a snoozer fight, but it might be just because there were some great
Technical,
ones before it.
very technical,
Yeah, it was,
and Murphy
yeah.
kept it standing until the fourth.
I was impressed with Murphy. I mean,
Yeah,
how he held in there.
absolutely. I've been sitting there watching it for 25 minutes thinking, I lose this bet. I thought when I heard the result, I was surprised.
It's just amazing how sometimes as a casual guy, I watch these fights and I'm all into them, and then the main event, you're like, is this over yet? Like,
Yeah,
let's go. I got things to do. That is,
Like
is
go
funny
to
how
bed.
that works. Yeah.
Think if you
Well, that was early. I didn't
but
go to
think
bed,
if you lived
though.
in Jersey.
Yeah,
It's
no,
1 a.m.
We got up and went to the rodeo is what we did. Went to the Queen Creek Rodeo after that fight. I think I watched the last
Are you
round
kidding me?
in the car. Yeah, I'm serious. Why?
That's impressive. I'm in bed before the end of
It was like 4:30.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah,
we
it was
had
London.
dinner Saturday. You're right.
Yeah,
it was
you had
the
dinner with your
afternoon.
friend. Yeah,
I went to.
I'm like,
yes,
Lou,
oh, yeah.
this thing ended at like 4:30.
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
we went to dinner at a place in Phoenix called Tar Bells. You got to try it. Camelback and 32nd
Yeah,
Street.
right there.
Just a great little.
No, that's
spot.
what I did. I think the last round we got in the car
Thanks
and
for
we drove
reminding me. That's
down to
right. We
the
had
Queen
dinner.
Creek Rodeo, and I was like, let's leave before this fight ends.
Can I give you my honest opinion on rodeos?
Yes, of course.
I have two sons. I raised both going to rodeos. We're from Nebraska. We've been to them everywhere. They are good, clean fun. They're so wholesome. They're competitive. The bull. I mean, I can't say enough about how family entertaining they can be, and I can't say enough about them. No matter where you are, you see a rodeo, you can go in, and it'll be really cool.
It's welcoming. The crowds are good. I've never been at a rodeo and had jerks around me or anything to that effect. Very patriotic, which I you don't see that much anymore, so
That's
it stands
also
out.
a good angle.
And then it is funny. I took a friend one time from Chicago who had never been to a rodeo, and when they do the calf roping where they rope them and then they flip them on the side, like he was like, I don't like this because he hadn't seen it. It looks like animal
They
cruelty
don't hurt
at
him.
times.
They don't
I said,
hurt him.
go, man, those cows are more pampered than you are,
they
buddy.
don't. They're not hurt.
And stuff like that. But no, it's a great night, man. I love rodeos. I don't get
Love
to them
them.
as much as I used to. I used to go to NFR every year, and I haven't gone the last couple. and-
I don't go anywhere anymore, really.
but yeah, no, it was great to get out there and do it. But I would have gone even if the
hats
fights were at
off to
night,
the
but,
rodeo, baby. What
absolutely,
a great
and those
idea.
guys are just tough as can be.
Oh, one last thing on rodeo.
Yeah.
It's widely spoken of the toughest people in sports. Oh, those football players are tough. No. Here's the hierarchy in sports toughness.
Dale says rodeos are the toughest.
That's because he heard me say it.
Oh, is that?
I guarantee you that. Because to me, the hockey player is the pinnacle. They do what an NFL guy does, only they do it 3 times a week.
And they do it on
size.
skates,
At fast.
on ice. Yeah.
But the hockey player can't hold the jock of the rodeo cowboy. The rodeo cowboy, you show me a dude that's going to get on the back of a 1,300-pound bull that's got he's tied in a special way to encourage him to buck. That's the baddest man on the planet, right?
Well, that you're talking about those. My favorite line is I knew this when I was a kid was I understand the first guy to get on a bull. He goes, but the second guy is the guy I got to wonder about. That's my favorite line ever.
That's a great line.
Because isn't that so true? Like the first person
That's
that
a
drank
bad
milk.
hombre.
Yeah, exactly. The second guy was the crazy one,
That's
not the
the
first
bad
one.
hombre right
the first
there.
one didn't know what he was getting into. The second one saw it. So yeah. So I mean, I think this way about UFC people too. I mean, the walk out to the ring and you get in there, you do all the checks and you say goodbye to your team and you go up those 3 steps, you get in the ring and they ring the bell and you're just you and another guy. Literally, I mean, they do it. They're respectful, but you're going up there to do some dastardly things to each other and everything. So I mean, there's a toughness there and a mental toughness that you have to wrap your head around. That I'll just tell you right now, I don't have that. I'd have to go into that ring mad. Like you'd have to piss me off beyond belief for me to go in that ring and do something.
Somebody would have to come to your house and kick your dog.
Yes,
but
and then I could do it.
Then you're pissed.
But I couldn't sit in a room for hours getting ready and then walk out to music and then get checked out and then just walk in that ring and have that rage. I couldn't do that. But you'd have to get me up to that level. So you got to give kudos to these UFC guys.
I definitely have
gals
it, but
too.
God forbid I ever have to go there. Let's never.
Oh no, you get on my bad side, I'll do it. But
you never
that's what I mean. You have to get up there.
You never want to have to go there.
These
that's
guys
not
just
where you want to go.
You see them in the locker room, Lou, and they're just sitting there.
But they can turn it on and off
That's what I
like
mean.
a switch.
And they go out to the ring and they're just casual and they're joking. Oh, I'll see you guys after the fight. The guys, oiling them up, and checking their gloves,
Ding, ding, ding.
everything. And then they go in there and it's like, all right. And then that's 20 seconds later, you're knocked out.
Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom.
their blood's everywhere. It is an amazing thing to watch. But this week, fights up in Climate Pledge Arena up in Seattle. This weekend, a big ring up there in Seattle this weekend.
Yep.
So they're taking that up there. Seattle fight, so it means 5 p.m. our time is the main card. So 3 p.m. or 2 p.m., excuse me, is the prelims up there in Seattle. Starts off with a women fight. Diana and Brazil here in this fight. Women's strawweight. I'm going to assume, Lou, because the over-under on this is 2.5, minus 200 to the under. Tune in a little bit later, at least have it on for noise as this goes to a decision here, because a minus 700 odds here for Thayanara, I think is her name, from Brazil.
Right, so you get cute and use Thayanara via the decision, or you just pass on what 115-pound women's fight in a huge octagon.
They're tiny women
I mean,
also.
it'll be great. It'll be great, but they start you off with one because they just want you to make sure you have enough time to get in the seats for the next fight, because the second fight of the night is as good as anyone on the card, guys.
Navajo Sterling and Bruno Lopez?
No, sir. It would be Ricky
I'm sorry,
Simon
Ricky Simon. I skipped one. I apologize.
Simone.
Yes, and Yanez.
And Adrian Yanez.
I
Now here's a bantamweight fight between a couple of guys. Now, Ricky Simone's from Vancouver. These fights are in Seattle. That's one area there. This will be all Simone. He's famous in the area. They love him. Simone, however, at this juncture, 33 years old. He's a little shorter than Yanez. Folds a little more wrestling into his game. Yanez is a Texas two-step striker extraordinaire that really can't wrestle with Simone. But if Simone tries to stand and strike with Yanez, Yanez could light him up. So we're going to have to see in this fight early Ricky Simone and late Adrian Yanez. So that means, Lou, what's the total? Well, it's 2.5, and it's shaded over pretty good.
Minus 185 to the over.
So they think, somebody's a decision, and a decision really lends you to thinking the hometown kid could get some home cooking here. Really, really close fight. I could be interested in Yanez, maybe even Yanez inside the distance if I was looking for some kind of bomber. We'll have to see how weigh-ins go and everything else, but that total scares me. If it was more shaded under, I think Yanez has a chance to maybe catch him. But Ricky Simone's tough as nails. I don't know if he's ever been knocked out.
Okay, yeah, bantamweights. I'm knocking out some power there for Yanez.
Yeah, he's got that's his shtick.
Then that's where you got Navajo Sterling here against Bruno Lopes. Here, New Zealand and Brazilian fighter are going at it.
Yeah, they take him all the way to Seattle to do it. Sterling is, this is a setup spot for Sterling.
Big favorite. It's minus 600. Lou.
Yeah, they're looking to make him. They're putting him on display a little by giving him a statue Brazilian to fight. This guy lost to Jacoby via KO, so he's there to be knocked out, and that's probably what Sterling's going to do. Yeah, short total.
Over under 1.5 on this, minus 145 to the over in this fight. So not a quick knockout if you go by the odds at least here.
Yeah, maybe it will be though.
It will be okay. So something to look at here going into this fight coming up. Then you got another women's flyweight here, Fernandez and O'Neal, Brazil, Australia. Another Brazil-Australian fight. Completely different worlds going up to Seattle.
Yeah, O'Neal started gangbusters. She's dealt with some injury and some lack of activity. And she's been off for some time, August of 2024. Tough fight to bet. Sandwich time. Let's go to the heavyweight fight.
They have it as a pick-em, minus 108 to O'Neal, minus 112.
Yeah, normally O'Neal should be a 200 favorite if this was 2 years ago. But there's so much unknown. Yeah. And Fernandez, to her credit, has been the more active fighter. So I think that's why the line's as close as it is. If anything, it would be a good price to catch on O'Neal. I just don't know that I want to invest in someone who hasn't fought since August of 2024.
You don't know how rusty that is.
I'm trying to be really a little bit more selective in my choices when I'm looking at 76% favorites all the time.
Then you got Tybura and Fortune here battling out Poland, United States.
Yeah, here's the only fight on the card where somebody has to travel into the States to fight, and the guy from the States doesn't have to. So huge road advantage for Tyrell Fortune. The thing for Tyrell Fortune is kind of a bully, starts out fast, loses gas. This is his debut in the
Heavyweight, by the way.
This is the debut in the UFC. And if somebody stands there and gives it to him and can take him deep, sometimes he has a propensity to not do so well after front running a little bit. A bully, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so this is Fortune's first fight because his picture is not on the UFC page, so that told me something.
It's his Fortune's debut fight in the UFC because Tybura's original opponent, whoever it was, fell out of the fight.
Yeah. Now, 135 favorite to Fortune. We've seen this. I gave you those stats last week, and I got it from the broadcast that guys that are first fighters here are going into these fights as favorites, and they're not winning. They're winning in less than, it's like 60-something% odds that they're not winning these fights. So his first fight coming in here against Tybura. And over-under on this is 1.5, minus 140 to the over. Fortune's a minus 135 favorite coming into it as well. So.
Yeah, and Tybura opened the favorite. So Tybura opens the favorite. They're flying on to Fortuna, or to Fortune. And I'm not so sure I agree with that. I think even though Tybura is 40, I don't like to bet the old fighters anymore.
Yeah.
But 40 isn't that old in heavyweight, number one. Number two, Fortune's 35 and a veteran, and there's a reason he hasn't been in the UFC yet. I think Tybura could be in a good position here. We could be getting a good price on Tybura. I'm just telling you, we're talking a little bit about Tybura. You get the hint?
Well, exactly. Read between the lines there aren't no lines on there, folks. Chase Hooper here, Lance Gibson Jr. here in a lightweight fight as well. Hooper's a 278 favorite going to this. For a lightweight fight, over-under is only 1.5 right now, minus 185 to the over with these guys.
Yeah, Gibson's got some ties to Washington, and Hooper's fighting at home. Gibson is making a debut fight in the UFC, 31 years old, but they give him a long, tall, experienced Chase Hooper, now 26, been in the UFC since he was 21. Hooper has all the experience, been in with better. I think he's a rightful favorite. And he opened 350. Now he's only 220 or so.
278.
Yeah, that's a par 278. Okay, so it's going back to Hooper's way.
I
was going to say at 220, 230, he's a parlay piece. At where he stands right now, what you might want to do is take a look at him via submission because he is a deft submission artist. Other than that, no play for me there probably.
Then Ignacio against Masayev.
Musayev and Bahamondes. Bahamondes from Chile, long, tall, drink of water, has great power, great kicks. From distance, the guy's a cobra. And then you got Musayev, short, sawed-off little Uzbekistan vice grip wrestler, but this guy's got hands, and if he can get inside, he can rain real damage on anybody he fights. The key here is, can Bahamondes keep this standing? And Musayev knows that his chance to win is to take Bahamondes, who can't stop a sneeze, let alone a takedown attempt, get the long, tall Chilean on his back. And I believe Musayev, whose name sounds like he can do it, I can assure you he can do it, and that's what he's going to do. Musayev is a live dog in this fight.
Yeah, plus 235 right now. Over under 2.5, minus 186.
Yeah, that might be a points play for old Uncle Lou.
So right now that's plus 3. I'm sorry, it's minus 3.5, minus 175 right now as well on the points side for Ignacio. This is the lightweight bout, final prelim fight as well, going into the main event as well. Then we get into the main card. Lightweight bout starts us off. Terrence McKinney and Kyle Nelson. United States, Canada again here, Lou. We're going to have some Canadian-American battles here.
Read the total and the price, please. That'll tell you all you need to know about this fight.
For this one?
Yeah.
For the total?
McKinney and Nelson.
Over 1.5.
No, 1.5
yeah,
under.
1.5 under, minus 270.
Okay. So McKinney hasn't seen a third round in his dreams. He has great wrestling, chooses not to use it. He goes out and just lets it go. And if you look, he's got nothing but first-round KOs or been KO'd in the first round because after 2 minutes, 3 minutes, runs out of juice and he gets caught. Against the better fighters still in the UFC, he has been caught. Against fighters that are no longer in the UFC and lesser fighters, he catches them. So the question now becomes, what kind of fighter is Nelson? Nelson's a fighter that's moving from 45 to 55, and you would think he would bring quickness with him, but he's probably not going to be the quicker nor the more athletic guy. He's got to see the second round, and if he does, I think he wins the fight, even if he sees the second half of the first round. But can he get there? This is another fight besides the one between Simone and Yanez that you got to watch, because it's going to be short and it's going to be violent.
For the first main card fight as well. Then you got middleweight bout, Mansour Abdul Malik and against Yusri Belgaroui.
Yusri Belgaroui.
Okay.
So Belgaroui, this long, tall kickboxer who is world-class kickboxing, and they're teaching him how to transition into the UFC, and so he's trained at a couple gyms. He's currently working with Alex Pereira and Glover Teixeira in Connecticut. So they're teaching him how to grapple, how to keep the wrestlers off him, and how to keep a fight standing, because he's singularly dimensioned as a kickboxer right now. He's taking on Mansour Abdul Malik, who comes out, and the guy's a bricklayer, man. He's got nothing but power, and he goes out there and knocks people out, but he's been in against complete cans in the UFC. Steps up in competition, especially while this is on the feet against Belgaroui, who's going to be the faster, longer, taller guy from the outside, sniping and kicking on him. So Mansour, I think, going to have to resort to wrestling. He was a wrestler at Maryland in college. And so the key here will be, can Belgaroui keep this fight standing? I say yes, and Belgaroui, I think, is a good consideration. He's what I wrote up in the VSiN Digital this week. It's on my webpage. I think Belgaroui and that camp are going to be prepared for Abdul Malik, and Abdul Malik's going to have a hard time penetrating the distance in a big cage in this fight.
Yeah, in a big cage, you just stay back and let your length do the damage. From there, Julian Erosa, and then against Douglas here, United States-Brazil fight, featherweight bout up next.
Yeah, Douglas is a power striking machine, very aggressive, and goes out for the kill. Erosa's a guy that's been touched in the first round and put out. He can fight very unevenly, meaning he can, if he gets touched, he can go because he's a little chinny. But if he gets warmed up and gets a fight late in the first into the second, he'll find a way to submit you. The dude's crafty. Now, Erosa is from the area, and so he's fighting in front of all his home fans and his family. So you got to take some of that into consideration. So that makes me immediately go to, what's the total look like? Well, it's 1.5, so that means the Brazilian. And so in this one here, you either take Erosa via decision if it can go his way. If it doesn't go his way, it's Douglas inside the distance. And if you can get plus prices on both of those, you could play one of each and hope to win one and at least win one of the others. If it goes Douglas decision, you throw a party and you lose both bets.
Hey, but you're still partying, right?
I guess.
Michael Chisa and Nico Price up next, welterweight bout here.
Chiesa's from the area. He's a longtime UFC fighter and announcer. He's announced this is his last fight. He originally had an opponent scheduled that backed out via injury, and so Price steps in on short notice 50 days after he was knocked out and takes this fight. Price is a guy that's a pure professional prize fighter, has a family of like 6-7 kids at home. He fights his butt off to provide for them. He does it because he's a complete lunch pail mudder, great dad, great family man, and this is what he does. And so you'd think he could be jeopardizing himself a little bit against Chiesa because he just got knocked out 50 days ago. Good thing about Chiesa is even with a hammer, he can't hurt you if he hits you on the head. He got no hands whatsoever. Chiesa's purely a submission artist. And Price is big, strong, tall, maybe not going to win any IQ tests for you, but the guy can fight. And Price could be in a good position here. If we're up a little bit going into this fight, you got Price, who's 30. Price is 36. Chiesa 38. And this is all set up for Chiesa to ride out and get rose petals on his way out, but Price could upset the apple cart. I'm interested in Price. We'll see how we stand when we get to that fight.
Then we got Alexa Grasso and Macy Barber, women's flyweight.
This is a rematch of a fight a few years ago that Grasso won via decision. Barber wants it back. I don't know how it goes much different than the original outcome, which Grasso won via decision. But Grasso's been very inactive over the last 3 or 4 years, and she hasn't done well, and she's a beautiful, cute gal. I almost wonder if there's distractions there. A hard fight for me to get involved with other than to watch and see, I lean to Grasso decision again.
Oh, plus 154 Grasso is right now on FanDuel, but yeah, decision. 2.5 is the over. 475 minus 475 to the over.
Yeah,
here.
so it's another women's pillow fight. Go make a sandwich.
And then that gives us to the main event here, middleweight bout. Joe Pyfer, Israel Adesanya here battling it out. Lots of hype on this fight last weekend. I mean, they always hype them, but they kept hyping this Joe Pyfer fight here as well. Nigerian versus American fighter here. And the Nigerian is a minus 148 favorite going into this fight.
Well, the Nigerian Adesanya is an ex-champion, and he's a GOAT champion. The dude beat everybody and faced everybody. The problem is, over the course of his last 5 fights, he's 1-4. And in those 4 losses, 3 or 4 of them, he's been knocked ice cold. And who knocked him out? Dricus du Plessis, Sean Strickland, Nazardine Imavov, and Alex Pereira. Now he goes in there against a hammerhead throwing big, huge power slammer like Joe Pyfer, who looks just like Imavov, du Plessis, and Strickland. And yet all week long, Adesanya, who is now 36 years old, and I just wonder that he's at the stage in his career where his brain knows exactly what he has to put his body through. Hasn't fought in a year. He's fresh. He's saying all the right things. He's going to come back and look great because his brain remembers how to. But as he gets the feels the power of this 28-year-old hammer-throwing Pyfer, who has already been beaten, exposed in the UFC now on a good run. This is a pelt on the mantle for Pyfer that he really wants to get. And the question is, will his feet allow him to stay with Adesanya long enough to catch up to him? Because early in this fight, if Pyfer can get to Adesanya, I definitely think he can knock him out. If Adesanya can force Pyfer to use his energy for 2 or 3 rounds, he could hold great advantage late, provided he doesn't get caught. It should be a great cat and mouse, great stylistic fight. But I have to, no bet here, I have to lean to Pyfer in the fight, to be honest. I just think that my days, last year when I assessed my year, I got caught taking too many guys that were 38 years old fighting 32-year-old guys. Mm-hmm. And this is a fight where a 36-year-old is fighting a 29-year-old. I'm not going to get caught on the older side. I lean to Pyfer getting it done here and a changing of the guard, because this is how the UFC lets their old champions go, by putting him in there against a young, hungry guy to create ratings and a new, divisional threat.
So Pyfer's 29 years old?
Yeah.
I thought he was in his 30s. His last fight was Magomedov there.
Yeah, he steps way up in class, no question about it. I mean, class, speed, he steps up in everything. I just don't know if I can believe Adesanya, who's had the championship, has been knocked out a bunch of times. He sleeps in silk sheets. He's a 36-year-old professional prize fighter. His brain knows, but I don't think the body going to do it.
I can't do it. He claps when he wants things, and people bring them, is what you're saying there?
No, he isn't Steve McCollum.
Over 3.5 on this, minus 135 to the over. That just caught my eye. And Pyfer, by the way, is a plus 124 dog right now. But the reason why that caught my eye is you said Pyfer could knock him out here. Is this a later knockout as Adesanya gets a little bit tired, or could it be an early round knockout here by Pyfer if he gets him?
I honestly, I don't even know if it's going to be a knockout.
Yeah.
I do think that the younger man holds advantage and will finish at Adesanya. I think that's what I think. Am I willing to bet that? No,
Yeah.
no. I want to bet guys that I have a good feel for. I want to. I've already bet Belgarui. I like the advantage I think I have there, and I'm getting a plus price. So that's a bet. But when I don't know and I go back and forth, to me, that's me talking to myself right out of the bet.
Yeah.
If there's no perceived advantage for me numerically or what I can find, in the intangibles, then I watch that fight.
Yeah, and that's be a fun end of the round fight here coming up as well. So, Lou, as always, here on Thursday, thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Happy to be
coming
here.
in
Thanks for having
as well. And everybody enjoy your Sweet 16 night. Of course, baseball underway today with a lot of opening days happening out there. Then, of course, this weekend, UFC on Saturday from Seattle. I'll be back tomorrow. Dale's off tomorrow, but I'll be back tomorrow. Bruce Cooper is supposed to join us. Dale might be off tomorrow, depending on his tea time for his Hall of Fame weekend there at his men's club. But we'll see you tomorrow, 8 o'clock here. Come and join us, would you? Don't forget, Pit Stop will be up about 2 o'clock today as well, as when that'll be up for this week, for those of you that catch the racing show as well. At the Pit Stop Talk on X is where you can follow that show as well. And we'll see you later, everybody. Have a great Thursday night.